What is going on? YouTube world. Steve, Dave, Insert Revolution podcast number 57. Um, a pretty, I'd say, mundane topic for us. We're not going to dig into the negativity of Team Schmedium and all those fools. Try to stick with more of a collector centric uh, approach, at least the first hour or so. Then we can go off the tracks like we usually do, but it won't be intertwined with those fools, at least in the first part of the broadcast. And hope you stick around and enjoy the ride and see what nonsense tumbles out of our mouths. And
That doesn't happen, Dave.
never,
We're not known to do that nonsense coming out of anybody's mouth. No, I don't believe that for a second.
no.
What
So, how's your week been, Steve?
was that, Dave? Sorry.
How's your week been?
Crap. Nothing but crap. Coming up at the end of the quarter, so everything is crap. People forget how to do things the right way, and it's just nothing but crap. I don't know how else to put it.
Understandable. Very, very understandable. They've pushed back the opening of the store because of a switchblade for the breaker or whatever on the the back wall of the store. Transformer, you've got to let I think I mentioned it last week. You got to let those coolers and the refrigeration freezer stuff run for a week to see if everything, the compressor, all that stuff holds up. So instead of being out by Monday, I think it's the 11th will be the last day, which is a Monday. I don't know why you'd have it on a Monday. And then the 27th, supposedly the opening of the new store. So I don't know. It's you try to order, half the stuff still doesn't come in. You want to run stuff down so you don't have to move it, but it's the delicate balance, and it sucks. What's up, Paul? So, and then taking a couple more, like I'd say, mini getaways the next 2 weeks for Saturday, actually Friday morning, heading down to the cities, meet up with my brother. I think he's going to a Judas Priest concert Thursday night, and then we're going down to Knotfest in Iowa, which is Saturday, and hopefully meeting up with some of my dad's family who we haven't seen since his funeral in '94. Connected with them, so that looks like it's a go. And I don't know how far we'll head back Sunday, depending on the time, and then probably Monday be back at work. So at some point, if not the morning later on, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, full days of work. Thursday, the morning to order, then leaving with my ma down to Appleton. So we see my brother and our usual fall trip. And then hopefully have some footage that weekend of some fellow YouTubers, two you haven't seen forever and a day, and then one that frequents the podcast here. So it'll be busy again. It just you wish there was time off just to take a week and just absolutely just no. I love camping, but I mean just lay in bed, just sit in bed and like be in a what do they call a state of moratorium or whatever when you are somebody of significance like a senator or like a president or somebody who just sit there and you can lie in wake and then they walk past you or whatnot. That's what I like to do. Just sit there, lay there, and just sleep. So it's fun to do all this stuff. Never going to complain about that. But travel down to Iowa, I don't even know long that is. It's probably about 8, 9 hours for me, and then 8 over to Appleton. I know that, and I usually go with my mom because she doesn't know the directions. She's not very good with that stuff. So, well, that's good. That's perfect.
Maybe you can find a way to double dip there, Dave.
I've met them though, so that's the good part. So that that helps. What's going on, Yannick? Clint, so you pop in. So and then unfortunately Michael won't be going to Green Bay because I think he's got work stuff going on.
That sucks.
So I'll be able to go to the game, the Steelers Packers, but I won't see Michael. Again, I'll get to meet Joey, which I'm fucking amped for, and 62 Chunk I think is going to be there, Eric, and then Marcus, Lambeau Leap fan. But again, Michael and Joey are the two I usually in contact with the most, so hoping to meet up with them. And I got a couple cards from Michael. I wanted to get his face on some YouTube content, bringing the viewers.
Yeah, I knew that you had some stuff that you wanted to give to him in person, so that's of course going to be delayed now. That sucks.
So that, but it is what it is. I know something with work. Somebody quit or something, or he's got to take on some more night shift stuff, and either that or afternoons. And I know he's not thrilled with it at all. So
Yeah, that sucks. Because I know he was looking forward to it just as much as you guys were.
yeah, I thought we discussed in one of our chats that it's like, even if I'm not going to the game, which that's fine. If we meet up, that would have been plenty fine. So, but weather looks, I think, decent. I think like mid 60s. You can't beat that. So, who are we sponsored by tonight? Tap into the Rockies. It's a co-sponsor too, the rare one.
Good old Mike's. Everybody ought to know Dave must have had a really bad day if he's actually going to be drinking on the podcast. Everybody write it on the calendar. Episode 57.
I had one. I think there was 3 left. Trista had one because we went camping. I gave her one, and then I took 2. And yesterday, right after work, it was like 2 o'clock. That thing came out, and I just slammed it. And I'm like, these things are going down too quickly. That's just it's like water. But
That's not always a bad thing, Dave.
no, if we got 12 of them that are going down that quickly, then that becomes problematic. So, anything coming in? Anything on the horizon?
Coming in.
Card wise?
Yep. Coming in. I was hoping today, but it'll be on display next week. So I was hoping. Just didn't happen.
Mail failed us again.
Exactly.
So, with tonight's topic, I couldn't fit all the words I wanted to in the title, so that's why it probably reads a little awkward. We're going to sort of discuss our thoughts on printing plates and how they've basically been cast aside as something that is fairly undesirable, even to a degree, as player collectors. Because you hear a lot of player collectors like, I don't want one. It doesn't. A lot of the times it has to do with what color the plate is, which that's fine, because at least folks are still picking them up. But there's some collectors, all that are outright just dead set against it, which I myself am not. If anything a plate Josh Johnson pops up, I'm probably going to overpay for it because I want to get what I consider the full rainbow. Everybody says rainbows are the parallels up to the 101, whatever, superfractor, finite, whatever the case may be. I consider a rainbow full rainbow the plates too. That's what I've always thought. What's going on, Jason? What's up, Foxy? So
let me ask you a question though, Dave. Just real quick. And it's more from a clarification perspective because I think I know where you're going with this. But because you and I have been doing this a long time as far as collecting and talking about things for an extended period of time. And you and I think a lot alike when it comes to specific things related to topics of conversation related to player collecting.
mm-hmm.
When you say the printing plates as part of the rainbow, you are meaning the entire gambit, as in, I just want to make sure, and you may have started to go down that path because you could have your standard rainbow, like you said,
Yep.
all the way up through a 101, and then your plates as its own rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
You do it all inclusive.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to have the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. You have to have those 4 colors for the plates. Because those are the 4 colors of a plate. There's no others. But have those plus the run of whatever pack issued, numbered, unnumbered, whatever parallels and base. I know a lot of folks aren't like that just because that's too big of a challenge. Because if you have 5 1-of-1s and it's something tough, like let's say a Panini Prism, you're going to have a ton of stuff. You're going to have 40, 50, 60 cards to put together a rainbow. That may be, but back, 2006, okay, there's a Topps Chrome Josh Johnson. There's a Topps Chrome Refractor. There's a red refractor. There's a superfractor and a black refractor. And then you have the 4 autograph plates. So, that's it. There's not like orange, tie-dye, zebra, sow, whatever the case may be, giraffe. It's just a basic number, a minimalist number, but something that's manageable. Not like today where, God, you're going to go broke, especially if you collect some star like Connor McDavid, LeBron James, Kobe, all the GOATs. So that's where I think the collectors still value the plate, especially, again, player collectors or team collectors. They're going to go over to that side and not like, Kirby Puckett, like whatever Donruss plate, that's not worth much. I don't care. It's like a $20 thing. It's a Kirby Puckett 101, but it's a Kirby Puckett 101. Technically in the realm of 1 of 4, but it's a 101. That's the only plate.
Or 1 of 8s, depending on the product, because sometimes they issue front and back plates. It's not it's not a normal thing, but it does happen from time to time. Pacific, when they went out of business or whatnot, it wasn't uncommon to see both front and back. Now, those were not quote unquote pack issued.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of their bankruptcy and things along those lines. But there have been other times in which you run across plates that have both the front and the back. And it's only going to be those that really have substance on the back. If it's just a write-up or stats or something along those lines, then of course you're only going to get the front plate because that's, what the image is. But for me, and from my perspective, I differentiate between the two.
Hmm.
So which is kind of interesting because usually you and I almost think a lot alike when it comes to a lot of things. I separate plates on their own rainbow sort of pillar. And then, of course, I have the rainbow.
Yeah.
And as a player collector, there's a lot of times in which trying to get all four plates is very difficult. You know, for whatever reason, Michael seems to get lucky and get the complete rainbow. Me, not so much.
Yeah.
So my preference is to go after the black plate. Black plates, to me, look the best in my opinion. This is my opinion. You get more distinct part of the image,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm not going to steer away from a magenta, cyan, or yellow either, because it's one of those in which, as a player collector, and one in which who has his eyes on 95 to 2015, I don't care.
Hmm.
If I can get it and it's reasonable, I'm going to pick it up, like a lot of other people. But as you alluded to, there is some player collectors out there that shy away from plates for whatever reason. Um, it would be interesting to get everybody else's feedback from the chat in the event, if they're a team collector or a player collector. if they go after plates, great. If they don't, what are the reasons why they don't?
Hmm.
Is it just for the simple fact of kind of what we're talking about now? Is it because they kind of become the redheaded stepchild, so to speak? Or is there other reasons as to why people shy away from them? I'd be interested to hear what people have to say.
And that was one of the thought processes with. I knew you liked a certain color of the plate because you could actually see the popping of the image still. Because like on the yellow plates, it's tough. The magenta, it depends. Same with the cyan. It's hit or miss. The black always pops through on the metal or the steel part of the card. So um it's it's always price. I'm not gonna go if I see something. I remember picking up a Norm Van Brocklin Leaf Limited '07 printing plate or '08, and there was no reason for it. Again, I like the Hall of Famers, but that's neither a patch nor a cut signature. I don't just collect Hall of Famer base cards, numbered cards, whatever. But I was with another purchase from the same seller, and it ran me like $4. It's like, why not? I put like 8 on it. Said, well, if I win it, I win it. If I don't, I don't. So when it comes to that, like we've always said, if something you got the funds, you're getting something anyway, or you're bidding hard on something, and it's with it with same seller, may as well. You don't know who else down the road may want something like that. You bump into somebody, and there can be a deal made, and that can enhance the deal or sweeten it up or whatever. But I'm not going to go out and look for like a Magli Ordonez tops printing plate and spend $40. Even though I like the White Sox, like that era White Sox, and before Frank Thomas, I'm not going to spend $60 on him just because that 60 could be spent for me for my Thomas collection on some insert that I really like instead of a plate where I'm not going through a complete checklist type of. I want a full complete run of player X, player Y, whoever it is. It just I know I think that'll be probably the general consensus. If you find something in the price range you're comfortable with, like we've ad nauseum, we've said in pretty much every episode, you'll pull the trigger. But if Terrell Davis goes for $80 and there's no patch on it, there's no auto on it, again, it's going to be a tough sell. That 97 Pinnacle would even be a tough sell in that. But something maybe 25 to $40, maybe in that era, where again we're 20 years past pack out. or product coming out compared to, well, here's a Panini Prism from this year or whatever, $60, $40, 50. You might him and haw a little more unless you saw something back then where you're like, I'd much rather get the 99. Again, I don't think they've got them, but like a Fleer Focus printing plate. I'd rather get that because it's playing days. When I was knee deep in Terrell Davis or elbow deep, whatever the case may be, and guess what? I'd rather go back and get that than something of this time and age. And what's up, Mike, Joe, and Eric?
Well, the biggest issue, and I think it's, to me personally, I think it's twofold. From a from a selling perspective, there are still people out there that put a premium on plates in certain situations for whatever reason. You know, for most of us, although it's stamped 1 of 1, we know it's not. It's a 1 of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's not that that doesn't mean it's rare by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, I say that because when I look at my checklist, for instance, I calculate based on obtainable needs, so to speak. And for me, obtainable is 5, serial number to 5 or higher. So anything serial numbered lower than 5, I don't count as quote unquote as an obtainable need, so to speak. Now, it does get calculated in my percentages and what I have in the event that I do happen to acquire something serial numbered 4 or less. It goes into my totals of have for that year, and of course my grand totals across the entire collection. But at the same time, I don't count it against myself in the event that, you know, I don't get something that's serial numbered 4 or less. And so as I was alluding to, sellers still, in certain situations, they put a premium on them. Because, yes, they are stamped 1 of 1s. By all practical purposes, they are technically, because there's only one black, there's only one cyan, but you need 4 plates in order to make a card. So, and you still have people out there willing to pay those premiums. Now, I say that with a specific caveat. A lot of the times you usually see some of the premiums on like your national treasures, you know, your higher end products. However, now that plates, in my opinion, are overdone these days, and Dave, I'll let you touch on, you know, what you and I kind of talked about earlier on as far as a specific product is concerned. But they're in everything. They're no longer. I don't want to ever call them rare. When they started becoming more of a quote unquote mass produced thing. Mm-hmm. You know, you go back to 97 when Pinnacle actually issued plates, and they were almost damn near impossible. I mean, I myself have never seen one. I did come across a listing one time on eBay, but I think it was still like a backdoor type situation. That's kind of what my gut told me. So it's one of those in which, for all I know, it could have been a legitimate 97 plate, but it just, something didn't feel right with it. Mm-hmm. And since I've never seen one, I didn't know exactly what I should be looking at. Not to mention this guy who was selling them had a crap ton, which was the first indication. It's like, okay, something doesn't seem right. Either this guy was like picking them all up at that point in time back in 97, however that was, or, you know, subsequent years. But it just didn't seem legit, okay? But the fact that they're no longer quote unquote rare. Mm-hmm. Years ago, even past 97, you know, when you started getting into your late 2000s, you started seeing plates. And it's a cool concept. It's a cool idea because if you think about it, if you're a player collector, you're holding a piece that actually helped create cards from that set, or from, depending on how you want to look at it. It's a cool idea. It's a cool concept. It was a cool concept then. It's still a cool concept, but it's overdone because they release it for every stinking product that is produced. Everything. It doesn't matter if it's National Treasures, if it's Tops, and I'm spanning multiple sports here. But when you look at Panini, for instance, every product that's released, you can get a plate.
Mm.
Whether it's from said product or from Dave's favorite product, which happens to be what?
What I mentioned, plates and patches. Once they started doing the one a box thing for them, and I get it where, okay, maybe you have specific plates and patches. Plates. That's what we're doing. It wasn't. It was immaculate. It was whatever flawless. National Treasures. The generic playoff brand that you found before at like Target for $1.99. The base playoff. Prestige. Anything Panini. Or base Panini product. Anything Panini was in that that release. I guess it's okay for a collector because maybe you can pull a Kobe. And again, I don't recall seeing anything like a big hit. They were all just plates. I can't. Age has gotten to me. Content viewing hours have gotten to me. I don't remember. Was there an autograph plate in there? Maybe. I don't remember like autograph patch plates, stuff of that nature. Most plates I remember were just base plates of inserts, plates of like maybe a jersey, like a, what do they have for NBA, the Christmas game? They had like I've seen a couple of those pulled, but I never remember seeing like the plate with a patch, auto, stuff like that.
Are you referring to the National Treasure stuff, Dave?
Well, just the base out of that plates and patches. I know in NT
Oh,
they've
okay.
got, I know they've got them, but I just don't remember in the plates and patches product them being pulled or seated in there. So when you see that, it just, I don't know. It's like, why not keep those cards as bonus hits in those product? Keep them there. Put them with the prestige. So you pull a plate. That's a bonus hit. Instead of putting it, making another product, diluting the market even more. I know it's all about money. I get that. It's just, and it's not even just Panini. I remember in 2006, I know for baseball, I don't know if it was for any other sport, but Upper Deck, and I don't remember if it was a redemption, but you could, and I want to say somehow get a redemption, pull a redemption, and get the complete run of plates. Because I had Brian Jordan from one collector that had him because of that. So while
See, that's a cool concept, though.
I like that.
That's a cool concept.
You can pretty much sort of hold those and be like, okay, I'm the gatekeeper of these until I find somebody that, hey, this dude loves Brian Jordan. Hey, this dude loves Terrell Davis. Hey, Jameer Nelson guy over here fucking would jump to the moon for him. Okay, well, we'll move him that way. And I know because discussions, viewpoints, seeing posts on now Instagram or wherever, you're like, okay, this isn't just like somebody trying to butter me up and get the cards. It's going to be a legit collector. Now you get Kobe, LeBron, all those guys. Whatever, split them up. That'd be more beneficial for you financially. But when you have a 800-900 card set, you're not going to have 800-900 Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, superstars, whatever the case may be. You're going to have a lot of fluff. There's going to be a lot of middle relievers in there. So at least you can find team collectors, the oddball player collector, and then go that way and do stuff that way. But I wish I do that more. That was, I don't know if it's just because you'd have more in the holding, like the shipping, the fulfillment center or what, but I just don't know. That I love that thought process. I love that idea. I just wish I did it more.
Well, and I think, and this is, it's one of those in which this is also one of those things that I think about this from time to time. It's one thing to get your base or your insert plate,
Mm-hmm.
But they take it to the next level. Now you have jersey one-of-ones that are printed plates, and you've got Charlie in the background barking for whatever reason. You've got jersey autograph plate one-of-ones. They're usually stickers. They're not on card.
Yeah.
I have seen on card printing plate autographs. I've seen them. Depending on what the product it is.
Yeah.
But then it makes you wonder. Because I've never bothered to put two and two together, for instance. And maybe I need to do my research because I've always wondered. Okay, so you have your insert set. That's an autograph insert set or a parallel set, whatever you want to call it, depending on the situation. And they're autographs, okay? The actual card is an autograph in the set. What keeps them from having 4 plates of just the regular card without the autograph and then 4 plates with the autograph?
Mm-hmm.
So now you have 8 plates. So now you're like purposely manufacturing additional plates. If somebody has an opportunity, it doesn't matter what the player is. Look at National Treasures or something along those lines, a higher end product, and see, do they have printing plates that are jersey autographs of the same like insert set? Because if they do, then they're taking it to the next level. They're like taking it to the extreme. Speaking of the extreme,
Charlie was barking because I was at the door with an answer to your question.
lay it on me then.
2017 Panini National Treasures brand logos, 2018 plates and patches, printing plate magenta, Von Miller, number 1, 1779 on ComC. Now that is without an auto, but it's a printing plate with a jersey. Now let's see, is there anything here with an autograph?
Now
Not that I see.
I've seen them with jersey pieces. I've seen them with jersey autographs. I've seen them. And I've seen plate autographs. I own 2 plate autographs from Prime Signatures from 2011. And they're sticker. But at the same time, do they have regular printing plates? I don't think they do for Prime Signatures. I don't think they do. 2011 Prime Signatures, I think if you got plates, they are the autograph plates. There's not like base plates because you have your black parallel, which is the 101. But I'm almost certain, I could be wrong. I'm not willing to stake my reputation on it, but then again, what reputation do I have? Exactly, Vinny, exactly. Thanks for the vote of confidence there.
Love you, brother.
Jerk. Just for that, I'm gonna. You're in timeout. Much love. I'm pretty sure I've come across because I watch a lot of the plates, especially from National Treasures and things along those lines. And I've seen jersey autographs. I've seen them. And I've seen some that are just the jersey. So I know they do them, but what I'm getting at is if you look at one specific set, and let's say it's a jersey autograph, that's the card in the normal release. Okay. Do you have a plate with just a jersey and then a plate with a jersey autograph? And do you have just the plate of the regular card design, which is just the regular front of the card? Because then you're talking 6 variations or 3 different variations for a total of 12 plates.
All I know is these playoff national treasures rookie materials are gorgeous. That I could tell you. But I'm scrolling through them.
Yeah, because that was something that always amazed me. You know, I was excited when I got my 2011 Prime signatures. I was excited to get them. You know, one of them, Chris at the Hobby Box pulled, and I was able to work a deal with the guy who bought the boxes and stuff. And then, you know, the other one, I informed a few people that, you know, the black was pulled at my local card shop while I was there. And I was able to acquire it while I was there. So I have 2 of the 4. So the whole autograph printing plate, I think I get it. It's an added variation. It's different. Add some kind of oomph to a printing plate. But like I said, now you're getting jerseys and now you're getting like patch autos. And it's just like, come on, folks. Really? That just goes along the lines of what I was alluding to, is the fact that they're getting overproduced, which is why the value has been lost, especially on your base plates, because they're like a dime a dozen now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't own a one.
Yet.
But that's also because your main focus for the longest time was the earlier years. You're just now kind of getting more focused on some of the later years, which is when plates started really becoming a thing. So,
and to be honest, I've watched a couple of them go by because I'm like looking at them and I'm like, aesthetically, these are not palatable to the eye. You know, Martin Brodeur, you know, as we say, it's just not. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Plus, there's how much other stuff of Mario out there that needs to be acquired before even thinking of some sort of printing plates or whatnot. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of cards that would probably be above any printing plate, again, unless it had some ridiculous patch. Then you're like, okay, man, maybe I mean, finagle something if need be, but unless it's mostly for like the team collector and the lower end, I'd say, or more geared centric towards the late 90s to like 2012 type player collector. Again, you can probably pick up Manning stuff and not break the bank, I'd guess. But at the same time, unless you're a die-hard Peyton Manning guy, you followed him from Tennessee on, you followed him, you're a big Colts guy, and you were super stoked he got picked #1. They're more than likely you're not going to be just like right now, oh, I like Peyton Manning. What am I going to look up first? The printing plate. I want to get a printing plate of him. What? No. That just, it won't happen. But there is still value there, especially with the older ones. Because when people still think, oh man, it's a printing plate, or you can find them in the $5 or $10 boxes at a card show, and then they think as an overarching thing that it's like, okay, everything from the 97s to now is run of the mill. Again, unless you have a GOAT or some like Hall of Fame legend. So,
well, and to be brutally honest, I almost fit into the category of almost forcing printing plates as to be the redheaded stepchild. I know what you've paid for some of your plates, Dave, and you will be the first one to sit there and be like, I overpaid for this. But at the same time, as long as you feel comfortable with spending what you did, then that's all that matters. It becomes irrelevant whether or not you think you overpaid, because at the end of the day, you're still getting the card, and it adds an additional 101 to the collection, so to speak. Me personally, I refuse to pay over $30 for a plate, and I don't care what product it comes from, because they're so overabundant, it seems. Regardless if they're a one of one, I'm not treating them like a one of one. I am treating them like a one of four. In my thought process, when I bid on one, my cap is always going to be, I prefer to keep it under $30. And that's taxes and shipping. Yes, have I paid more for certain ones? Absolutely. And it's because of the brand, so to speak. If it's, leaf certified materials, because I've always been a fan of leaf certified materials. Or if it's one specific year of National Treasures that, I just loved the design that Terrell Davis was in for certain subsets. And no, I'm not referring to 2006. But you get where I'm going with this. There's certain qualifications that will push me to pay more for a plate. But what's interesting is, at the end of the day, I will still pay more for a 101 base parallel than what I will for a plate all day long. All day long.
Yeah, the one, even if it's got nothing on it, it's just a plain 101, not even going to like a finite, but like a platinum blue or like NT. Trying to think what else. A mirror black. Out of certified.
Platinum out of limited.
Yeah. That stuff, it's always going to be, because we knew how difficult that stuff was to obtain. You just didn't see it. And if you did, you were going to be paying out the rear for them, because you knew other collectors out there were in that same boat of like, I know this is insanely difficult to get. And the subtle foil does the trick that I know if Michael were here, he would say the same thing, that he's big on that stuff too, that you don't have to have some huge foil nonsense like Revolution does now for Panini. You can just have that line around it with maybe a little loop-de-loop on top, and people like us go wild for it. But I'm going to try to dig for one plate 101 that I like, and I think everybody, I don't say they will like it, or they do like them, but I think it's one that sort of is in the corner of, most will agree that this, if we could all get printing plates like this, we would probably be a lot happier instead of just like a base plate. So I'll let you two talk as I shuffle and rumble through the collection.
I'm curious to know what's going on with Vinny's phone blowing up. Either he's got stuff in it on eBay, or somebody's really like notifications. Gotcha.
Yeah. So Dave and I had this conversation the other day on a separate note regarding our 2020-2021 metal. Those cards, some of them are going ridiculously cheap. Ridiculously cheap.
As in the inserts?
As in the inserts and the PMGs.
Gotcha.
When a PMG goes for $10.10 of a guy that's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame or in the Hall of Very Good, yes, please.
Well, that goes along the lines of the fact that, and we talked about this kind of as a one-off conversation just between, a small group of us. When you consistently bring something to the forefront in products consistently, they lose their nostalgia, they lose their value, they lose the rarity, which means the newer stuff, although it may be desirable to a lot of people, people are not going to pay the premium that normally the PMG nomenclature would bring unless it was a 97 or a 98.
Mhm.
So it's one of those in which we've talked about this on a multitude of occasions. You keep going to the well too many times and you keep overproducing these iconic named sets. And yes, I know iconic is a loose term and it's left open for interpretation. But a lot of us long-time collectors have a set list of what we would deem as iconic. And most lists would include certain ones, PMGs being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody here would argue against that. But the fact that it's no different when you look at the plate perspective. Years ago, plates had value. You had to pay up for like we'll call a Hall of Very Good, even a Hall of Famer. You would pay up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether it was a player collector, team collector, I don't want to call it a premium per se, but it wasn't uncommon for you to pay a decent amount of money. Nowadays, like I said, they're a dime a dozen. And you can get really good players for cheap.
Yep. But some of them are just god awful ugly. They're just, I'm looking at the ones from Mario right now. The one I would want would be 140 shipped. And then I'm looking at the one above it for $55 more. I could get one of him signed. So do I get the one that it's aesthetically pleasing, that has him in a Pittsburgh uniform with all the accoutrement in uniforms and logos as such? Or do I go with the Leaf one that's signed, but all you see is the C on his chest and the birds are off the shoulder? There's nothing there. It's just blah. So, the only other one, there's a cool one here they did an anniversary. Upper Deck did that 20th anniversary series. I think they did it. It's like 12 of the same card, but there's just like a little variation or something to it. There's a magenta plate here. It's him holding the cup. That's nice. But again, it's graded. I can't tell who it's graded by. Grade a plate. That makes no sense to me, but okay. It's a 9 mint from Beckett for $200. But for me, I'd almost go with the color match. I'd want the black or the gold or the yellow.
Yeah.
Because that would just make more sense. And like I said, the aesthetically pleasing one is a Dominion printing plate. It looks to be black. So it's like black and white. It's a 101. It doesn't say what it's. Does it have 101 marked? Yeah, it's one of them marked on the back. It's him in the flying or the alternate Pittsburgh across the front jersey. That'd be the one I'd want out of all the ones available currently on eBay. But
Did you find it, Dave?
These would be the ones that always would be, especially for me, a player collector, these would be the top plates because there was no other, like Steve said, there wasn't like a non-autographed version or non-patch variation. These were all patches, all autos. So you had those in varying degrees of material. But then the ones that everybody loved back in our day, the white whales, which still hold value. I mean, it's not like these are not like they're going to go down in value much, but these are ones that are going to hold the value. And there wasn't like another, like NT would have, oh man, here's the white whale with the auto. Here's the white whale with the patch. Here's the white whale with the patch and auto. It's no. You got them. That was it. With the magenta, you got that. There's no other ones out there. So those are the plates that are always going to be in any Neftali Feliz, if he's got an all-star one. Guess what? That's going to go for a chunk of money. Adrian Beltre, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He'll go for a chunk of money. Chris Davis for the Orioles, worst contract since Mike Hampton or Denny Nagel. He's going to go for a chunk of money because in those, they never put like a one color. There's never one color. It was always multicolor, at least two of the three, and maybe you got like a single color, but or a pin strip like at this and that top one, it's just that. But at the same time, you've got multicolors everywhere else, so you're not just white, and then maybe a pinstripe one, and that's at least that's what I found with Josh Johnson. There's nothing, and again, if they do, it's criminal because it's a printing plate, give an opportunity to show. But this was like the Platinum 101. So I mean that's what they did for a lot of the white whales too. A lot just filthy patches. So,
Yeah, those aren't an option for me because Terrell Davis only was in triple threads from a memorabilia perspective 1 year, and it was him, Reggie Bush, and somebody else. 4 variations, I think, as far as the numbering was concerned. And I don't know if they issued any white whales for that specific jersey variation or not. But so Ty, just since you had alluded to this earlier and not knowing this, granted, this is one of the things that I had mentioned. This is specific to Pacific, so this is not pack pulled. But the fact of reverse or printing plates of the back of cards. So this is what the back of these printing plates look like. So if you happen to buy a Pacific printing plate, this is what it's going to look like on the back. There's no notation, no one of one, no color, no nothing.
What you doing? What you doing?
But this is the actual back of this card. This is not the front. And of course, how you know that is because of this right here. So this would actually have like the name of the set, and then that's the number. So that's the back. So in this specific example, there would be 4 plates for the back and 4 plates for the front. And like I said, this is a bad example because it's specific. These are not pack pulled. These came. You'll see them all over the place, and I have a few of them. Not that I've purchased individually. I've had them come in collections that I've purchased. Because to me, and I hate to say this, to me they're not legitimate printing plates.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because they're not checklisted. They're not counted within Beckett's checklist. Yes, I know I shouldn't be basing everything off of Beckett, but that's where I pull my data from a checklist perspective, is from Beckett. And these are not listed because these were not pack issued. So that's why they're not included in the checklist. Although in later months or in later years in certain products, you'll see certain things listed in the checklist that may or may not be quote unquote pack pulled. It was a special issue type situation that they will include in the checklist. So, like, for instance, and I can't get to it, but like the headliners, the small and the big ones, they include those in the checklist as a part of the quantity in which spans Terrell Davis. All your starting lineups are included in the Terrell Davis checklist and would be for any player collector for that matter. If they had them issued at some point, they're going to be in the checklist. I have like a winner circle Corvette die cut thing. That's in the checklist. Pinnacle Inside. If anybody remembers Pinnacle Inside, it's the can you actually had to open in order to get the pack of cards out. There you go. Go figure. Dave is going to have one readily available. Sealed. Yeah, mine's over here. It's open, but if it's got your player on it, usually it's going to be in the checklist. 97 Donruss Preferred. The 10s. Those are listed in a Beckett checklist. The blue, the silver, the dual 10s, the large 10 if there is one. So it's interesting to see what they include and then what they don't include. Because, and then, believe it or not, this right here, this is Collector's Edge. Collector's Edge didn't issue printing plates. But guess what? This is a Collector's Edge insert printing plate. Same concept. Nothing on the back. Doesn't tell you anything. So a lot of these other manufacturers that went out of business, you start seeing them on the secondary market. And I can't remember which one that's, I don't know if this is Scoreboard or something else, but this is another one. This is the front of the card, at least. The last one I showed in this one, it's the front of the card. But, it's case in point, they're overproduced these days, which is why, quote unquote, the value has diminished and they're not as desirable to a lot of people. So there's a lot of times, unless you're bidding against a player collector or a team collector who happens to be watching said printing plate, you can get them for next to nothing.
Which it'd behoove anybody, if they're selling one, if they get, I don't know, Walker Buehler. You get a Walker Buehler printing plate, make sure to put Dodgers or Los Angeles Dodgers in whatever title somewhere, just to, again, it's not telling anybody anything that isn't true. You're not being conniving. You're going to maximize sometimes your earning power with something if you don't have anybody in your circle that deals with specific players or teams, it's like, well, okay, somebody out there, if I just put Walker Buehler, maybe the Dodgers collectors won't look. You put Walker Buehler, Los Angeles Dodgers, whatever printing plate, 1 of 1, then they'll be able to find it. But yeah, there's Topps Total was the other one that did the front and the backs, and that was in don't know if they ran 03 through 05 or 06. I know it was in 06 for baseball. I think it might have been 05 only. Or through 05. But they would have the front and the back as well of the printing plates. Same thing as you have for like a Topps printing plate where you have a square in the back. It says the card number, the card set, player, which is the color, 1 of 1, and the other Topps gibberish on the bottom. But that was a legit one that was pack issue. So, and those ones, we talk about a lot of the stuff that who knows how much stuff's still out there unopened. The Upper Deck Collector's Choice, Upper Deck MVP. That Topps Total stuff, I bet you there's tons of that stuff still in one of my 103 warehouses. I don't know where, but there was a lot of it. I remember buying some of it because it was fun to open. You saw triple cards with players that you normally wouldn't see on a card because they're a punter, a long snapper, and a kicker. You just don't have, unless you're an Adam Vinatieri, a Morton Anderson, a Jan Stenerud. You don't have kickers that are commanding big bucks. So that was fun about the Topps Total and your chance to get a printing plate of somebody who normally wouldn't have a 1 of 1. But yeah, the Pacific stuff, the Pinnacle had like a stamp on the back, if I remember correctly. Because I may have one somewhere amongst the masses, but I remember it was just like a circular stamp and it had the Pinnacle branding on top or whatever, top mid part of the card, and then I think whoever that player was in the set. And after that, I don't remember or recall seeing much of anything. It wasn't like the Topps where you have a lot of the information you find on the back of the card, but they were the first to introduce printing plates as a pack issued entity into the hobby. So we can blame Pinnacle for that. Or praise them, either way. Maybe a little of both. So we're an hour on this. I don't know how much longer we'll go. Because again, I don't want to get the stick out and the horse becomes the glue. I'll show you, Yannick.
You're digging corners. Stop it.
PSA 8s.
Shake a little more. There'll be 6s.
Yes. It's like Yahtzee. So yeah, that product, I say it was a miss just because you needed a can opener, and people already struggle enough with opening packs of cards as we've seen on multiple videos and live streams. Now you throw a can at them. It's like, come on now. Innovative, again, 100%. But the packaging alone, that couldn't have been cheap. So, yeah, it's a specific set, Yannick. It's an actual Pinnacle set they had from back then, where if you look at the Ripken, that's the Diamond exclusives, whatever it is, that are in there that are nice. There's another parallel that's like a 1 in 7. The Diamond exclusives are 1 in, I don't know, like an 81 or 91. A couple inserts. Again, it just didn't. No, you cannot.
Unless you're a termite.
Yeah. That is it. So I think we've hit on most of the stuff.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, we touched on I think the highlighted points. You know, cool concept, overdone. They've taken it to the extreme. Uh,
You're a specific collector of a team or a player, and you're a completionist, or the numbers matter, plus adding in the price factor, and you can acquire it for a reasonable price. You're going to go after them. But if it's something that's 70, $80 for a regular plate of Joe Mixon, or I don't know, Braden Holtby, somebody like that, where it's like, they really don't do much for me, then they're going to sit in like a $5 or $10 bin, and maybe you can scoop them at a card show. Who knows? But again, if they're on eBay and they're $9.99 opening bid, $4 shipping, it's like, that's over $15 for a plate that I really, as cool as they are, and it's a 1-on-1. Again, unless I'm buying it for somebody, I'm not going to be doling out big dollars for people that aren't in my collection or I don't enjoy.
There was a box at Saturday's show, $5, $10, $15 jersey patches and plates, and I didn't look in it because it looked to be ultra modern stuff, and I just wasn't feeling it. I was sitting there for a good 35, 40 minutes going through all those inserts trying to find gold, but I found some silver, but no gold.
Well, it's better than finding nothing.
Exactly. I mean, when he looked at me and said, "What's a fair deal for grabbing these out of my basement?" and he's like, "How about paying for my table for today?" I'm like, deal. 87 inserts for about a quarter a piece. Not a bad deal.
No.
Or 50 cents, somewhere in that range. So, shout out to Gary.
And his costs were covered.
Yep.
At a minimum. So if he didn't sell another thing, he was at least covered for the day.
He's a good dude, Gary. He even said he tried to watch the podcast. So if you're out there watching, Gary, you're a man among men and you're a heck of a dealer. And these are the just because guys. So
just remember, bring football next time.
Well, the cool thing is he told me the guy that sits by him, right behind him, is his brother-in-law. So he had a bunch of stuff. He told him bring inserts. So I was able to grab. Where'd they go? I have no idea. But I got a set from 91, 92. They were the Euro stars. I think they were, Dave. It's like 19, 20 cards. It's like Yager, Fedorov, all the guys from Europe.
Okay.
And he was like, $5 sound good? I said, sold. Because instead of sitting there, and I have all of them or most of them, but I want to tell you, those old pages, they're murder on cards.
Mm-hmm.
So until you get to the Ultra Pro Platinum series, you can hear those pages.
The Ultra what?
Ultra Pro Platinum series.
I'm pretty sure I heard Ultra Pro the first time. Anybody else catch that, or am I hearing things?
I heard Pro, but
all right, everybody rewind. Everybody rewind. I'm pretty sure that was Ultra Pro.
Okay,
that's
Ultra
a tongue
Pro.
Twister. It's a tongue twister if you say it too fast. I got to give you crap from time to time. You were quite the prick earlier with your
yes, I was.
Zero credibility.
Zero comment. Yeah. So I deserve that. But yeah, those two guys, every show I go to, if they're there, I'm patronizing their tables because not only are they cool, They have pretty good stuff, and they have they always make you a deal. That's what I like, man. It's yeah, it's the Pittsburgh dialect. Where's Bob Lewis when you need him so he can interpret for me?
It's not the good deals only mentality.
No, he's like a dude walked up to him. He's like, "Are you buying anything?" He's like, "I like to sell something first." It's like the typical old school dealer answer. I like to sell something before I start buying stuff. So, and then he sold a card when I was sitting there. He has two little cases, and then he has some blaster boxes and stuff, and just an older gentleman, probably retired, and just loving it. He goes, I just enjoy the heck out of it. And to me, those are the guys I'm going to give my money to every time. Because to me, those are the good deals only. Because it helps him just collect, and he buys stuff he wants, and then he sells what he doesn't want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. It's like a collector helping another collector. He just happens to sell cards. And my biggest shock was the guy that's always there with all the 80s hockey stuff that I've been pilfering for the last 2.5 years. Just slowly grabbing stuff every time I'm there, getting a stack, saying, here's my $10, here's my $20, here's my stack. He wasn't there. First time since 2017 that he hasn't set up, and I was quite shocked because it was replaced by ultra modern stuff. And it's just like, well, that was interesting. Not seeing him there makes me wonder. Now, next month when I go back, if he's not there again, gonna make me really wonder.
Drop a question to one of those other dealers, like, hey, what happened to so and so? That do you just not get the return? I mean, if you're paying for a table and you get, say, a table's $100 and you sell $30, I mean, every time you can't come out as a loss leader then, but at the same time, you got to be selling something because he's obviously you're picking something up. So I mean, I gotta imagine there's at least one or two other people that might stroll through there.
Table's always busy because he has probably 2 whole tables of just dollar, anywhere from quarter boxes to $10, and there's 2 whole tables there. And I mean, he probably could make a living. And then there's 3 tables with all that. Mm-hmm. Then there's like a break, and then there's 3 tables with his showcases, and then behind him he has 2 or 3 tables set up with wax and all kinds of trinkets and stuff like that, balls, bats. Yep.
Or maybe he
Bobby
sold
Burrell kind of stuff.
Maybe Bobby bought it all with all that big money up in Canada. Who knows?
He could have. The other thing was the Future Watch Young Gun guy wasn't there. Mm. So I know he was going to Boston to that show, a week or 2 ago?
Mm-hmm.
And then he didn't say anything about not coming to this one, but there's one this Sunday at the Elks, and he usually sets up there, and that's where he has the value boxes. So I wrote myself a list of supplies I hope to grab, because that on the supply front, penny sleeves are a penny again. I mean, it was pretty picked over. He had a case. I was able to get a handful of them, but they were $1 a pack.
That's something I've got my 2 row gradeds came in. So that's gonna help, because then I can get a bunch more of the stuff put aside, and then get the Dumbas in some sort of box because I know I don't have them in any sort of box, and they're here, there, and everywhere. I know I've still got a handful of penny sleeves. I think I might have like 4 or 5 out of the 2 top loaders that Steve got me. I've got one unopened, and I think I've got probably 2/3 of the other one. And we've compared many times in text about cases of those and thoughts on those, Vinny. But yeah, at some point, and I even look like you had mentioned before too, like gently used, like either magnetics or top loaders. I'm like, I don't even care. I just don't want something that looked like a kid skateboarded down a hill with it. I mean, if it looks like it has a very light scratching and you can barely see it unless you're like looking at it in the light or whatever, I'm fine with that because again, I'm not going to get to shows and that won't be my main focus. I'm not going to be like, I need to get supplies. I'm like, no, I want to get to a show and look through cards just because mine are so infrequent. Mine are twice a year. And that sucks because again, I'd like to go to a show like once a month. It'd be fun because then you could sort of like split this up. Be like, okay, this is the month I really got to load up on supplies, replenish them. And then next month, let's look more for cards and we can divert some of the budget for supplies over to cards. But I got one coming up. I think that 11th, 8th or 11th, whatever that weekend is. I don't know.
Friday.
So it'd be 9th, I bet. 8th and 9th, maybe 10th too, but I don't know. I really don't want to see that one guy that skunked me on those Forsbergs. I don't want to hear schmedium drama because we've passed the 1 hour mark, so it's free reign now. A while back, but I don't want to hear that shit because I know I'm if I see him, I'm like, what about our deal? Be like, you fucking told me all these Forsbergs. I told you to buy every one of them, and you offered them to somebody else on Facebook. What about that? And then you hear excuses, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about excuses. So now, whatever money I was going to spend with you, that's all gone because you decided to be a dick. So I'm as much as I'd like to go look at cards, the other group that I've bought stuff from, I know they had a Brodeur Cup that now if I could go back, I'd buy it for like the $10 or whatever. Just because, again, it'd be nice to have in there, but it was like a 9, 10, 10, 11, so it wasn't a first year. If it was first year, I would have bought it. But I'm like, they don't pay attention to anybody. They got their laptop out, they're watching movies, they're just like talking with each other. I'm like, you guys are the fucking upper Midwest Team Schmedium assholes. I mean, if you guys are wearing like over the shoulder fanny packs, I'm gonna jump these tables and beat the shit out of you. So I just don't want to go to the shows. I don't. At a big show, I could probably handle that. At a small show, seeing just idiot after idiot at like 20 tables, I would be like, nah. I'm getting more frustrated than I am wanting to look at cards and like spend my money with these people because I don't care.
It used to be about 90-10. Over the past 6 months, it's about 60-40 now. I have a feeling by the end of the year it's going to be 50-50. And like there was a guy that always set up that sold pops, the little statues that C collects.
Mm-hmm.
And he had non-sport cards. And he had various pictures and different stuff, all like horror related, movie related. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he used to be at every show and he took up 3 tables.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he retired and moved to Boca Raton. So that freed up, and that's where Young Gun Future Watch dude, as I call him, sets up now.
Mhm.
This time, it was all Pelican case guys with they didn't have any cases. They just had their cards. They had their two of the Pelican cases behind them, then all their cards up front. They didn't even have showcases. But a majority is the one side. There's a wax dude. He probably has maybe 8 tables, and it's just full. He has probably 4 tables of retro wax and 4 tables of newer wax. So he's the big wax guy. On this side is the supply guy. He probably has, and he has a couple tables across the wall. He'll have binders, pages, that kind of stuff set up over here. And then on his main table, it's penny sleeves, semi-rigids, all that kind of stuff. And then he has wax. He has tons of wax, like the new stuff. Anything's new, and the prices are usually pretty solid. I mean, compared to what I see out there,
Mhm.
the retail is probably more expensive, but his hobby is reasonable. His hobby is more reasonable than the retail, which is kind of mind blowing. And then there's a couple guys here and there. There's a new guy that sets up. He talks to C all the time because he has Hot Wheels, he has cards, he has pops, and he makes good deals. And I'm all about the good deals. And he treats my kid good. So that right there. But then everybody else, Gary and his brother-in-law are here. And then everybody else is new. A lot of guys with their girlfriends set up, and guys with their wives, and they got tons of retail, just sitting there. And I'm like, hate to disappoint. He's like, you need something? I'm like, oh, I'm just looking. And I'm waiting for say, well, this is a good price. No, it's not. Shave $5 to $10 off it, making about $5 over retail. Then we'll talk. Till then, not feeding the beast. Because when I could go out and I get my little box for MSRP, I'll do that. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. Don't care. But I'm not paying $50 for this box that costs $29.99, which is $5 more than it was before. But again, this is metal. So I could see this being $29.99 over, say, Series 1 at
Mhm.
$20.
Well, and I've always said, to a degree, I think you're going to start seeing a slight uptick in retail MSRP anyways.
Yeah. Because I saw somebody had Walmart shelves, and this was $31.99. It was either that or Meijer. It wasn't Target.
Okay.
So you're talking a $2 bump from Target price, because these were from Target. There's only one Target in the area where I am that sells cards. Everything else, you got to go behind the service desk and ask. But there's one place, and it's only NHL cards. Everything else is behind the service desk. But they put out NHL cards because apparently nobody kills each other over hockey cards.
Not yet.
Allegedly.
Well, if there was a mad dash and you were starting to see an influx of value in PMGs from that release, you can guarantee that would have changed.
No PMGs.
I know there's no PMGs in there, but that doesn't mean people who don't do their research aren't going to think about that.
Mhm.
All the other inserts though are in there, are they not?
A good bit of them.
Intimidation Nation.
Yep.
And originally Intimidation Nation was a case hit. At least from a football perspective, I don't know if it was the same thing for others, but I know for football it was a case hit.
Not even close.
No, it's like a one and
Maybe
6.
not now. Maybe not now. I was talking about when the original Intimidation Nation, they were a case hit.
The Skybox
Yeah.
pre.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Steve. Because I don't see the older Intimidation Nations as often as I do, because now they're all goalies. So there's 32 cards, 1 in 8 hobby, packs or blasters. So you get 1 per 8, and there's 7 packs in here. So you have a probably good chance of pulling an Intimidation either 1 and 2 boxes.
So out of metal, from a hockey perspective, we know PMGs are inserted at a more regular rate. What's the big? I mean, what's the big one? Is it the jambalaya?
Jambalaya is 1 in 1,600 hobby. Excuse me. Jambalaya is 1 in 600 hobby e-pack, 1 in 1,500 blaster, and the platinum portraits 1 in 840 hobby pack, 1 in 6,000 blasters.
So those are your case hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
6,000. I don't know if that's 6,000 blasters or 6,000 packs. That's 6,000 blaster packs.
Yeah,
So that's a lot.
Well, you would hope it's 1 in 6,000 blaster packs.
And somebody had said, what? Ovechkin's like at $2,000 or one of those sold for $2,000. I'm like, holy crap. I don't know. I'm glad there's an appreciation, bro, for the case hit stuff, but I guess keep on buying that stuff, fellas. That are out there. That's the stuff you want to get right now. Get that and get the medal and spend that kind of money on that, because that's a lot.
I just hate the fact that it can start transitioning into, the football original. You can't compare it to a basketball perspective because of jambalaya. Jambalaya is jambalaya, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
I get it. But, when you start talking about platinum portraits, even in the original 97 releases, I'm pretty sure those were case hits too, or 2 per case, somewhere in that vicinity. They weren't something. But when you start consistently going back to the well and start throwing these in newer releases, including other sports that normally don't have them, it then starts potentially shifting focus and people starting to look at the sport in which they're known for. So then you start seeing an uptick. Me personally, I already have my Intimidation Nation, I already have my platinum portrait, so it doesn't impact me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But for others who, have gotten a fondness for 90s inserts, it definitely could have an impact on them. That's for sure.
And as we've said, though, too, it's not like you haven't been warned. It's not like this is Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere. Everybody, I mean, you could see this. The jambalaya is going way up. Big men on court, all this stuff from basketball, and then whatever was paralleled in the other sports obviously went with it. You knew the rubies at some point were going to tick up, especially that 97. PMGs, again, that first year is the best. Obviously, that 97/97, 98 for football and basketball. The years subsequent after that, I'm not super keen on them. A lot of people are. The champagne swirls of the 98, 99, it's not that great. I just got an Abreu in. It's nothing to get excited about. But again, me wanting to complete a lot of this Abreu stuff, that was when I had to peg off the list because I love lists. But
So does Vinny.
I know, but Vinny and I show lists all the time. That's about all we show. Cards and lists. No pictures of anything else. What about this list? How about this list? Look at this one here. Here's a card.
Squirrel.
Basically. But we've told you if you've got somebody in those sets, especially like the one in 72 and on up, get them. We've been telling you that for over a year now. Get them if you can, even if that's got to be you pay up a little, because the paying up a little may now be paying up a lot. And you don't want to be sort of left. Again, these other guys are holding the bag because they paid too much for stuff you had. Nobody in any realm of card collecting should have been paying that much for. Sometimes you need to pay a little more, again, if you can afford it, for that stuff that you just can't find, that doesn't pop up every other week, twice a month, 4 times a month, whatever the case may be. Because with this product coming out, you knew the nostalgia train would be careening down the track. It was going to be a jet train or whatever, the bullet train over from Japan, flying down the track, because everybody, whether they say they collect inserts originally or not, and all of a sudden are jumping on the train because it's the cool thing to do, you knew that it literally be a train wreck dumpster fire where everybody'd come out of the woodwork thinking they're experts, thinking they're preaching words of wisdom that haven't been preached for the past 20 years, in the past year on a specific podcast on Tuesday night. The one thing with this product, as Steve alluded to, if you do this every year, I hope you didn't spend ungodly amounts on some of these PMGs, because they will crater in value. Because you cannot have something that's very special in the eyes of collectors done over and over again unless you constantly do it right. You constantly make it difficult to get. That if the odds aren't the same, they get more difficult to pull because the demand for said card is there and it continues to go up. I liken it sort of to like the SP Authentic in hockey when they had the retro, like the patches, the rookie patch autos, the Future Watch, the retro stuff from the guys that, okay, it's not their rookie, but here's their rookie setup patch auto that's to 25 or 100, but it's a great clean looking card, and they're always sought after. You do essential credentials every year, nobody's going to care. You do rubies every year, nobody's going to care. You do PMGs every year, you're going to kill it. Instead of doing that, as we've said, pick a year, pick a brand even. This year, do Fleer Metal. Do all Fleer Metal. You can put your Alon in there or whatever. Why they didn't do it? 96, one of our favorite years for football. Freshly forged. Where was that? That's your acetate. You can have young guys in there. You can have to be all rookies. It can be third year guys up to your second or third year. That's what that was. And you still have that acetate, but the companies want to get so far away from what actually worked back then, thought-wise, design-wise. They want to put their stamp on, and guess what? That stamp doesn't matter, because you still have a lot of people thinking back in those days, like, well, I remember this insert, or I remember this, or the body shop, that cool, like the acetate finish to it, but it was more of like the NT, what they've come out with, the acetate over like the regular card. It just looks nice, but they're not doing it that way. Do your Metal Universe this year. Do EX theme next year. Skybox Premium the next year. Skybox Thunder the next. Fleer Flare.
Noise Boys.
You can do Ultra. You've got 7-8 years of branding you can do, but you're just shoving it in, and you're gonna fucking ruin it. And I'm shocked it's not Panini doing it. It's Upper Deck this time.
Yeah, they crammed it all in, or as much as what they could.
And you didn't need to. You were going to sell in the
Correct.
premise of this PMG. You didn't need to sit there and tinker and sit there and have like the magician's like cape and like sort of give a glimpse. Oh, what's that? Oh, you just wait. No, you don't have to do that. People sit there and say, well, yeah, you do. You got to be original. There's very little originality left in this hobby. It's going to be a big key on going back to that well, and instead of throwing a bucket down the well to get the water, you're throwing a stick of dynamite to blow up the well. Because you start tinkering too much, you're going to lose your base. You're going to lose the core people that followed the stuff 20, 25 years ago, that loved it then, that are excited about it now, and they see it. They see the prices. I'm like, again, I get cards are going up. Wax is stupid price. But if there's no possible return on my investment, hate to say it, but again, if you're going to buy a box and you're not paying like the original SRP, if you're buying it right now from somebody else, you're not paying the same price it was going for last December. They won't listen. It's going to always be the money grab. It's always going to be, we got to try this, we got to try that. If you would just do as we say. The geniuses are here. The triad is amongst the hobby. Everybody listens to us anyway, so why don't the card companies do it now?
Yeah, if you're listening, make sure you discern your inventory versus your PC. I need to make sure that's clearly said again, since it was taken last week and made clear on another show. I'm glad you cited your source, which you didn't.
No,
have a good day.
They can't do that. They never will. Again, I don't care if people don't comment. I don't care if people are watching and lurking in the shadows. If you see something from anywhere else, and we've done it, I've even said my best friend, I've seen shit from him. Good old friend Mike, baseball collector. I've said it where I've seen from him. I've said I've seen from other folks. If you don't want to cite your sources, guess what happened in fucking school? You got an F. It's called plagiarism. So, man up, woman up, whatever the case may be. You don't have to send people our way. I don't care.
Shit up.
Yeah, shit up.
That's right. We finally know what it means. Where's the better half when you need her?
Yeah, where is she? I haven't seen her here tonight.
I don't know. She was talking to Shelby because my oldest daughter got engaged. So they're planning another wedding. So
It's Tuesday night. That can wait.
Yeah, it's IRP night. That happened
It's not
2
happening
weeks ago.
So.
Or as it goes in the group chat, happy RRP day and then happy BIC day in our group chat. Somebody always says it on Tuesday and Friday. Before long, it's going to be a national holiday. Oh, no, it can't because it's once a week. Damn.
What I'm trying to locate is the better half set me looking for something in my pictures on my phone. And well, I want to torture myself right now and show a card that I captured in a picture at a certain price like 13 months ago. And I just have to remind myself of my stupidity that I didn't buy it. So that's why I've been sitting here scrolling, trying to find it, because I want my cohorts here to chastise me again for my dumb move instead of good deals only. I really screwed the pooch on that one, as they say.
It won't be the last time either. It just
No, it won't. But this one, this one hurts. This one hurts because I don't
we
know
all,
what I was thinking.
we all have those. All of us have a small handful of those situations where it digs deep and you don't ever forget it.
I did forget it, but then I saw it. And then I
No,
didn't
no,
even
no,
see
no.
it. I saw it. I seen it. I felt hurt.
No, I wasn't meaning that you forgot about it. There's those situations that you will never forget.
Yeah. Yeah,
Painful.
that could be like a 10-part series. The cards that haunt you, because it's just stuff that even if you didn't have the money now, that some of the stuff is like, God, that's such a good price. And then even if you him and ha, it's like, okay, let me try to make something happen. You go back, it's in your watch list. The first thing I look at is like ended. I go right to ended. What the hell ended? And then I see click, click, click. I'm like, okay, that sucks. And then I see like the guy had the beehive 0304. What? And again, these variations, it's low number. That's why I like them. This one's to 15, and I didn't get it. That was one I was like, the ones I showed you, Steve. Those are the ones I right away. I'm like, I got to get those, especially with that Bowman Chrome, because I had the X Fractor already. I'm like, I just want to get those. I love that set. So you sit there, that one goes. Then 15, 20 minutes later, boom, another one goes. Then I saw another one today, unfortunately, when I was looking at trying to look up a comp for that Ripken 2001 Upper Deck patch. I saw another one that went. I'm like, well, I didn't even see this one. It's an 0102 SP game used Roder patch auto to 50. Like, where the hell was this? I don't even. And it was the same dude. I'm like, I don't even remember him having it. And it sold like this last weekend. I'm like, and I'm usually refreshing every 2 minutes, it seems, looking what, especially when he's listing, because that stuff's just coming like rapid fire. And it was like, for the price it went, I'm like, I believe I would have hammered that immediately. So at least that one's to 50, where I'm say, okay, I hate it not getting it, but at the same time, I can hope that there's something else down the road. But yeah, you just there's a lot of regret in the hobby on several levels, which that could be another topic down the road. Who knows?
I think it was a topic. We just need to revisit it.
Well, there's several of them that are of that nature.
Okay, here's the pain. Ah.
It's like, you do it, Steve.
Whoop, whoop. So that's the EX Lemieux that I love. It was $115 plus free shipping. Dummy. Now, that was bad. This, Vinny, should haunt your nightmares. Golden Touch Lemieux. $29 Canadian. 2068 American. Moron. That concludes Vinny beating himself up for not making moves, not grinding, not hustling, but making himself look like a fool on the IRP. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you and good night.
No, I'm stuck here for a while.
Yeah.
Really?
Would you expect anything less?
No, I figured I'd be up there, switched around, but
Well, I can do that too if you want. I mean, I can put you over here.
no, I do not belong in the place of Dave Archer. I do not. No, I cannot.
So, Dave, where else would we like to take this conversation this evening? I think we're going to leave him up there for a little bit. We're going to see. Let's see if the perspiration starts coming down his forehead, and he's just going to sit there and not even say anything. All right, Vinny. Jeez, you big baby.
Come here, little dog. And the dog just wiped out my screens. What did you do, dog?
We still see you.
Come here.
I don't know what the regret of those. I mean, we can have that for the haunting, the regretting. I mean, there's just so much that, especially with our players. Even if I don't lump in Brodeur because I started collecting him 18 months ago or whatever. Benny's been on Lemieux forever. Again, not hardcore all the years, but still, like, when he looks at the cards, that's what you look towards or gravitate towards. You've been with Terrell Davis for a large number of years. Josh Johnson, for me, again, not the biggest name out there, but at the same time, he's got a catalog. Again, thankfully, a lot of the guys I do collect that have a lot of cards, like Piazza, it's just through playing days, Dodgers stuff, and any of the Marlins. Because I don't want the Mets stuff. That wasn't a time I cared for him. Again, I like the 9/11 stuff, and right after that, him showing the emotion and like just being a stand-up dude. But it just that time the Mets again were just trying so damn hard to win. They're just picking up anybody, and nothing was working. So I was very happy that I could pass on Piazza after that. But there's just so many cards out there when folks get to the point of like, oh man, cards are boring. Well, that's because you're boring. That you've got blinders on so tight.
Speaking of boring.
Real
What's going on, Bob?
Master of segue. I'm good, man. I just had to wait till bedtime and all that, and 10 o'clock seems to be a good time. So,
Always a pleasure having you.
I'm pulling out cards to go into my Z folio. But please continue.
Everybody in their Z folios, but me.
I got one for each sport, basically. And
yeah. So these are my Z folios, and it's good old Ultra Plo pages.
See, that's what happens.
Told you it's a tongue twister if you say it too fast.
Before you know it, you're going to start talking with your hands.
I do that anyways. In groups of people, I do. And stuff like this, I don't do it as frequently as others that I know. And no, I'm not alluding to anybody here.
But yeah, if you find yourself in the hobby and you're bored with it, again, this will be a topic I think in the future. It's your own fault. I mean, you should be in the hobby. There's so much out there to collect, and if you I only want Mahomes, well, you're gonna go broke. That's why it helps to actually be a collector of stuff instead of I want to do this for a living and I constantly trying to make money. It's gonna get boring, or unless you somehow come across a money tree like Team Schmedium has somewhere. I don't know who is funding them, but again, they have way too much money. It's you can always find those good things only. So, but Robert, what have you picked up lately? Anything of use?
You know what? I did pick up a big card for me. I don't think I posted it to the chat. I did. So you're familiar with Topps Heritage, correct?
Yep.
And all the different variations.
Yep.
Do you have an idea of which variation is the toughest?
Are we talking like image variations? Or are we talking like the chrome refractor, and then the like black refractor?
No, not the chrome stuff. So just the base variation. So you have like, nickname ones, or the team name is in a different color, or some like action variation. I happen to get the throwback variation, which is I think the hardest. Meadows, and I've been looking for that card. So Scotty posted a Yelich throwback, years ago when the product came out. And I knew Meadows had one, but they were, it was too expensive then. It was like the hot rookie stuff, and it's one of my few saved searches, and nothing's popped in a long time that's reasonable. And one came up in a PSA 9. He had it. Buy it now or best offer at $199.99. I offered him $50 less than that, and he accepted. So I got it for $149. Actually, I got it for $140.99. And actually, I was like nervous. It was a late I don't know, Saturday night or Sunday night, and I'm thinking of the conversation that Carlos had with you. If it's a card that you want, go get it.
Yep.
Don't make the low. It's not even a low ball offer. But just get it. So I was sweating it out. I was like debating whether or not to get up out of bed and just say, scratch the offer. I'm just gonna buy it now. But I didn't, and woke up and had an accepted offer. There was something in my shopping cart, which was cool. And then I can't remember if did I tell the Meadows has the from 2018 update, the base, the short print, and then the super short print. I was standing in line at the grocery store, and I typed in Austin Meadows variation, and up popped his super short print rookie raw with 15 minutes left on the auction, and it was at $20.50. So I watched that, but I ended up getting that guy. So now I have a raw copy, and I pulled the trigger way back then because I did go get the card when it was listed, because I didn't know when maybe I'd see another one. With those super short prints, you never know. so it's nice to have a backup raw copy. So those were two big Meadows pickups, and then there was just last night a 3-card lot of PSA 10 update rookies, just paper. I got 3 for $37. So I'm like, I can't pass that up. That's like, and with tax and shipping, it was like 44 and change. So I got a PSA 10 Meadows times 3 for like $15 a card. So
No,
that
basically that's going to be your grading fee
yeah,
plus a little more, but still, that's for one card. And
right.
open actually comes back a 10. So
And I had that card at a 10, but again, like, if anybody understands picking up some extras, if it's my friend Dave Archer.
this is truth.
Warehouse.
So those are some big ones. I'm getting ready to. I'm getting that SGC card order ready, and I'm trying to move some of the basketball cards that I got in that small collection purchase. Ooh. Who is it? Dominique or
Ron Mercer. Everybody's
Ron Mercer?
favorite. But here's the back that nobody's ever shown really that I remember. It's where all that foil is. It's good looking from the back too.
Yeah, it is.
There was one of those sitting on the table this week for $15, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I said, the last time I saw an instance of this, it was not legitimate. So, from my understanding, that is a counterfeited card to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That's an interesting segue. I have a story. So yesterday, my dad, when I went to pick up my 5-year-old at their house, he said, "Hey, Tim, his buddy from West Virginia, I gave him a stack of cards." He's like, "Give him to Bobby. Let him check them out." All right. I just peeked in the bag a little bit, and my dad had already said a lot of, they look pretty good. They look pretty clean to me. And they just looked like too clean. Can you make me big?
Mm-hmm. I can.
Let me show some of these. I mean, and it's just like one after another. Razor sharp corners, bright colors. But the closer I looked, this is what really set me off. This is one I found. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So that's a high number rookie, hard to find. And then this looks like a freaking 9 or 10. You know what I mean? They're all fake, man. Every one of them. Once I was able to like get home and look at them, like it's just like
The
cardstock. Yeah, it's
Yep.
cardstock. The edges are all white. They're not cardboard.
Yeah.
And again, like the condition, it's like this is, and he bought the whole collection. This guy for $500 at a flea market in Ohio, Rogers. And he goes there often, and he's never seen that guy back there again.
Did that guy
my
have
dad,
horror DVDs and
most likely. Yeah, look at this one. Blank back variation.
those are prominent from that era.
But it's just like one after another amazing cards. This one's almost like neon green on the back.
That's way too bright.
Right. I mean, the whitest of white borders and sharp. Every one is practically dead centered. Yeah. Rod Carew rookie, you know. I'm showing these cards. I hate even showing them because they're all fake. I just like, and my dad has the unfortunate pleasure of having to tell this guy like, you got taken. So, on the flip note, he did say he does have about like 200 or 300 cards in his collection that he has amassed over the years. So at some point he's going to get those in my hand and I'll take a peek at those. But he was a big Cincinnati Reds guy. I actually tried out for the Reds back in the 70s. And he was, quote, the best athlete that my dad knew locally, right? I mean, from softball or basketball, whatever it was, Tim was the best. And he couldn't even make like the practice squad for the Reds. Wasn't fast enough. I mean, it didn't matter anything. It just wasn't fast enough. So, you know, I don't know. I guess that says it's hard to be a professional athlete, which is sort of like a duh, you know?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, less than 1%.
Yeah.
Of course, if I'm not mistaken, I think baseball is one of the. I hate to say this, but baseball and being one of the more easy ones, at least to get into like the minors at a minimum, because they have such multiple tiers.
Yeah.
But you know, you're still talking less than 1% ever make it. And then when you look at football, you either make the team or the practice squad. That's it. Yes, you have the CFL and you have others, but you know, still. And then there's basketball. You know, they have what? 11 players, 12 players per team type situation.
Yeah.
So you're talking even harder. But, you know, they at least have like the international front to where you can go play international if you're good enough.
Doesn't the NBA have like the D League now and stuff?
Yeah.
Like
they do.
Minor. I don't know how many people actually like make a name for themselves there or get called up, so to speak, but
You get a couple, but it's not like AAA or something where, oh man, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is coming up this year, or Austin Meadows or Glaber or Soto.
Those guys are already in the league, right? I mean, you get some late bloomers every once in a while, but that percentage is pretty low as well.
All right, Vinny, shut them damn dogs up.
The little one, he's just a attention hound tonight. Oh,
like he is every other night. They're all attention whores. As I've got Trooper at the back door barking to go out.
Can you say the H word on this show?
Well, it's a W, but you're close.
Oh, okay.
we gotta start doing the what is it, the rush hour? Is it the second one or is it the third one? Call him an AW. Oh, hole is spelled with an H.
So what about you guys? You guys picked up? You guys probably already told all the stories to the questions that I would ask. So
ask away, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, did you pick up your Terrell Davis this month?
I've actually picked up 2 this month.
Oh, hey, I got. Dude, and I still have your top cards and that to fill your set out. I still got those sitting here, man. Not bad for not getting them out. But,
Bob, no worries. I'm not in any rush.
These are 2
Genuine,
old,
genuine article. Yep, got them both.
They were so random. I'm like, maybe that's one that slipped his. Yeah. No.
Yep, genuine article. One's a checklist and one's the actual card, if I'm not mistaken.
Does he have an auto in that?
I want to say yes, but I don't know which one, and I think I have it.
I got a Mike Allstott auto in that, and it was like one of those random, like you can barely tell it's autographed. There's no real, I don't know how they even did it back then, but yeah, there's no like, just looks like the base card, and he signed it in like a black fine point Sharpie or something. Barely see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he autographed both of them, but I do have one of them, and it was like a random pickup years and years ago.
Congrats.
Nothing wrong with the random pickup.
Picking up any green PMG for under 100, even the later years, is a difficult task.
I did watch some of the. I did watch hockey, the metal breaks.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it is. Titan something. She opened up like 3 cases or 3 8 cases, $8 cases. I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. Vinny, did your blasters come? Mine are set to come Wednesday.
Yep, mine got here yesterday. The better half said, "Go porch." I'm like, "Go porch." I'm like, yeah, chair? Chair is on the porch? Is it the wall? Are we in Red Dawn all of a sudden? Are we talking code? And they were sitting out on the porch. Little box, beat the 80s and back. But they stuffed 3 of them in there because that's your limit. So the box is beat up, but the blasters are fine.
There's a little local card shop up by my parents' house. It's called Dad's Basement. Had never been to it. It's right on Potomac Avenue. I don't know if you know where that's at, right where Campede's is. And I drive past it often, but never had a chance to like stop. And so it's a young dude and his brother, and basically it looks like they just took their collection and got a shop, and they're, they got all retail wax that they're selling, blasters and mega boxes, and a bunch of like basically just looks like singles that they opened up and pulled. Nothing to really like, that I didn't buy anything. I bought a couple Allen and Ginter blasters because they were only 25. But I mean, like, they can't make money, but maybe they do. I don't know. Like, it just, and maybe it sounds like I'm being a jagoff, but, just wasn't an impressive setup. Like, I just don't see it lasting. But it's like, that's a thing that my dad, when a shop goes up, he's like, oh, you should go in there and tell him, like, you'll use their shop to sell some of my cards, and like they'd take a percentage or whatever. And I'm like, just for like the counter space. I'm like, I don't need to do that these days.
20, 25 years ago, yeah, that would have been, hey, give me a side of the showcase or whatever, and let me do it. Do it with somebody that not just like, hey guys, what's going on?
Even somebody that you think Listen, and it was D&K dugout. I was 15. I had the Kobe Bryant Topps Chrome rookie, and it was in his showcase with a, whatever it was, $20-$25, and then in the Beckett it jumped like to $80 or $100 one time, and he wasn't answering the phone. And when I got there that night, because I would go there after school, and he said, I sold it because I didn't know, I sold it for the $25 that was on it. and I was gonna pull it. So, and I guarantee you, every time a Beckett came out, he would just look at it and then look at cards that were in there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That one I wish I could have back, but such is life. So even if you know the guy,
Well, yeah.
or you think you do,
One of the best comments this weekend was this guy sitting there with his significant other. And she looked at him dead square in the face. Are we ever going to sell anything? And I was like, well, I'm not buying a blaster for $55. Well, that looks delectable.
Chocolate mousse pie. Yummy.
there's that one. My $8 pickup,
That's a good one.
dude. I was blown away.
Well, you know my story about that card, right, Bob?
No,
So I finally landed a gold refractor 96, 97 Lemieux. I made a
Okay.
deal. It was $100. And I'm like, in a 9 PSA. I'm over the moon because those things are going for a lot now. So I got it when the getting was good. Waiting. Comes in. I'm all cut into the box or the mailer. I pull out a David Arias rookie in a 10. And I'm like, this card is worth 5 times what that Lemieux is. And I showed a better half. She's like, well, isn't that better? I'm like, no, I want my Lemieux. So I was the honest guy and contacted him, and he's like, let me contact the guy I sold the Arias to. And sure enough, he had my Lemieux. So we had to send it back to, was that one going to Canada? Yeah, that one went to Canada. So when my card went back to Canada for Michigan, the guy in Arizona sent my Lemieux back to Canada. He got him in Canada and sent him back to Michigan and Arizona, respectively. But that was a big blunder, but
you did the right thing, man.
I can't take somebody else's card.
No,
Plus, that Lemieux is worth more to me than, even though I like Ortiz, I think he's a heck of a ball player. But a Lemieux gold refractor, which you're probably going for $300 raw right now,
with the coating or not?
with the coating, slabbed up,
Slabbed up.
with all its natural beauty and form, preserved in plastic for eternity. Oakley's
If it's a
PSA
card for my
12
PC,
averages.
I gotta peel it because I would rather have the shine than the coating. I mean, I get it. People want the card as it is, but like sometimes the print is going across the face or something. You know what I mean? Like,
That's why this was a perfect copy. His face is perfect.
nice.
And it's like, and there's minimal greening. Gotta have minimal greening. I'm gonna have to get my oxygen preparation chamber for it. And so it doesn't green anymore. I had plenty of that first year in 96, 97 was the first year he was in finest. He wasn't in 95, 96. And or maybe it's 95, 96. Whatever. The first year of finest, he wasn't in it.
94, 95.
Yeah. So
The
then
blue
this,
border.
The blue one. Okay.
so it's the next year. 95, 96. Thank you, Dave.
In that blue set, who was the big rookie in that? I always went and
Kiprasov.
yeah, never got that one.
But back then it wasn't.
Right.
That took about 5 years or 6 years to really, when he started blossoming in Calgary.
Yeah, that's like you just notice again. I always refer to the Beckett because that's what I did. And it was like he was near the end of the set, and it was like I had other rookies, but didn't have the one, you know?
Yep. Because I think that was like the Team Canada or the World Juniors or whatever it was.
Right.
Because Ryan Smith, that was my big rookie at that time, and I still think he was at the time a fairly decently chased rookie for Edmonton, but he was in like the Team Canada, like Paul Correa was for the Upper Deck that one year, 92, 93.
I don't know that name, Brian Smith.
Winger for Oilers for several years when he went to, I think, Colorado. It was good to see Mark the other night.
Yeah.
Him crawl out of his cave.
Yeah, he's something else. So I can. Did I say where my next work trip is? I can't remember if I did or not, but yeah, I don't know if it was a live or if it was just an offline conversation. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get. It'll be actually closer to Oshkosh than Green Bay, which I think they're like 25 minutes apart or something.
Yep.
So I'll try to hit up Scotty. Scotty actually said if I'm there and I'm able, I could stop over to the house and see the setup. So that'll be awesome. And then
is it this weekend?
Well, no, I was supposed to be there this originally, but the stuff that I have to install at the new office hasn't arrived yet. So once we have confirmation of delivery, then they'll ship me out for a week.
I hope it ends up being like this time next week you get shipped out.
It could be.
Because if you do, I'm going to Appleton. Appleton is right next to Oshkosh.
Really? Oh, dude. If the Stars would allow this, hey, you know what? Hold on. I'll check my email right now because I was working at another office today and didn't even open my computer. So maybe there's an email sitting here saying you got to book your flight for next week. That would be cool.
Yeah, because Mark's only about an hour and a half-ish or so away from.
He said about an hour, and he said if I am in Oshkosh, that's even that's closer for him. He actually said, because you know what he does for a living, he said if I was I'm flying into Detroit and then up. But he named another airport. If I was going to that one, he would have been able to he said he would have had the pilot troll me. Which I don't know if he really has the power to do that, but
I don't know if I'd try to push it though with him. Yeah, because that's where the Packers fly out of is Appleton.
Really?
The airport there, yeah.
Well, it was real tough to get a flight or something last week because I guess anytime there's a home game, it's nearly impossible to get a hotel or something in the area.
I believe it. Yeah, because if you're up there next week through that next weekend, yeah, I'll be down there, and then Joey Birdcat 8 will be down there, so we can go to Scotty's house, drink, and we'll invite ourselves over.
I mean, it's what you got to do, really. So
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I'm all I'll be bummed if it's not next week, you know?
Well, yeah, because we all were expecting you to be gone this week until you told us that had changed.
This was supposed to be a hotel broadcast. That's right.
because I reached out to Bob, just to Bob specifically, and I was like, "Hey, didn't know when you were flying out, but safe travels." And that's when I found out he wasn't leaving yet. And then within a matter of, I don't know, half an hour or whatever, Vinny put in the group chat. So Bob had to basically provide the same response twice.
That's all.
But at the same time, it's one of those in which at least everybody knows that we think about one another. So,
Yeah.
or
Dave,
try to.
Well, I want to have you. I hadn't kept up with the chat much recently. It's like when I miss a big chunk, I just try to find a new starting point. But have you slayed any monsters?
Not yet. The thing that I hate most with selling, and I've told it to anyone that's going to listen, especially with stuff that I'm not familiar with, I've got to go through and try to do comps to try to
Right.
pony up a deal that's equitable for both parties. And I won't say I've been dragging my feet, but when we went to Tristan and we went camping on Saturday, so like right after work, showered, changed, got a couple things, and then we went out, and it was right outside of Ely. It was like 20 miles outside, and just went there because it was going to be nice. The one last hurrah because we love camping. So then that takes away like the looking at comps, which is fine. But then you're sitting there, it's like, okay, now I'm going to be leaving Friday or Thursday night to her place, Friday down to the cities, and then off to Iowa for the weekend. And then, so that sort of takes out there. I mean, I'm sure at some point in time I can do a little bit. But
right.
in the same sense, I want to try to get, I think tomorrow is going to be a day of just like trying to hammer everything out. And then if a deal can be made, okay, here's this, I got to try to package it up Thursday, get it out Thursday or get it out Friday from wherever, and then do it that way. But that way, I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
And I've got stuff I've got lined up from the first deal. I just need a little more to go there to get that deal done, and then the next deal can get worked on. And at least Derek bought a bunch the first time, he's interested. So this time, JT, Triple Crown, looked through a bunch of stuff, and he's got a couple pages worth of stuff he's looking at.
Oh, dang.
Yannick got a couple things this time too as well. So
He's the man.
There's a couple others that I don't know. I'm hemming and hawing on the numbers and even with you've got only this into it, still like you want to maximize, because again, it's not like we're flipping through cards. It's not like, okay, here's a Mahomes silver, here's a select like whatever number to 60. We're flipping through the stuff where we've got every step we're flipping, we've got something we can have sort of like the equal value or thereabouts to get rid of and sell. It's like once I sell like a $300 card, that's wiped away from the potential earnings down the road in order to slay these monsters. So you got to be semi-calculated.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I'm making like 1.5 times on it. I should just do it. It's like, well, if I can get up to that 2 times, I feel better because then that money is already deposited in something else for the PC. And that's not going anywhere. Unlike the Jordan rookies you see on a lot of the vlogs that are the grails for a week.
Liquid.
Yeah. Liquid assets.
Inventory.
Inventory. That's it. Not PC. It's inventory. Discern. You have to have the correct nomenclature.
How cool would it be if like eBay had like a comment section on the listings? Because what DC posted today with that pro set stuff? Like, what is that guy thinking? I mean, I just feel like if there were a comment section, it would be ripe with just like getting lambasted for such an idiotic listing. I want to like talk to that person and just hear their reasoning behind. Like, are they not from this planet? I mean, how do they not know that, or are they just that big of a scam people that like they're trying to take advantage? Not even pushing it like a little bit over, like saying $1,000. What was it, $6,000 or something?
60,000. Yeah. Here's the problem. If people are breathing oxygen, which that would mean they're living, and if for any reason they come across any sort of mainstream news media related to the hobby boom, and in certain situations, even stuff from the 90s, they automatically think that, you know, they come across something like that and it's worth a fortune.
Right.
And here's my thing. By the time they're said and done, and if they keep relisting it, it's costing them money. The fact that they put it up at $60,000, buy it now, best offer, that is not a free listing. No matter if you get 30 free listings a month, that does not qualify as a free listing.
Really?
No.
It's up
to it's capped as far as like your starting bid, or because most of the stuff, it's one of two offers. Either it's auctions, fixed price listings, but it's up to a certain dollar value in which you can like put it up at.
Okay.
And I can guarantee you $60,000 is not going to be one of them, because eBay wants their money. Let's be real. eBay wants their money. So I'm willing to bet it, and test me on this, Bob, because I know you sell on eBay from time to time.
Yeah.
Wait for an offer for fixed price listings. Go through and put one up for 60 grand. But before you hit post, look at what it costs. Because it'll tell you how much it costs before you post it. I mean, it'll tell you.
Interesting.
But I'm willing to bet you it isn't a free listing. It's costing them money to list that. So as far as I'm concerned,
even more to the point of like how asinine it is.
So it's one of those in which, okay, fine. Let them keep listing it and relisting it at whatever fee it is, $10, $15, whatever it is. Let them keep costing themselves money, because at some point, either they're going to be done with it and say, to hell with this, and they'll try again another time. Or there's going to be somebody who's going to send them a message and be like, you do realize this is crap, right? It's going to be one of two things. But for individuals like that, it's like, let them waste their money. I think it's funnier than hell, because it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Oh,
you see it all the time.
That's just been the most egregious one that I've seen recently. There's definitely been plenty of like, you know, I've seen like 91 Donruss, the blue border all-star, not even the base car, all-star King Griffey Jr. for like hundreds of dollars, you know? Because they'll say some rare punctuation variation or something, where there's a period on the back of it, and all the others are missing the period or something. Like, but it's not as far as I know, real.
Well, even if it is, it's not acknowledged in any sort of publication either.
Just make
Because
up your own variation.
Yeah, anybody's going to look for something that dictates or qualifies as scarce or rare, because that's what people kind of want to look for.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that it takes manufactured scarcity to a new level. I mean, let's be realistic, and something along those lines. But like Bobby said, people are stupid, plain and simple. In a lot of situations, I hate to say that, but a part of me feels like that is in fact the case in a high percentage of those situations.
Say it.
Because they're not willing to take the time and actually do a little bit more digging and research before just egregiously posting something so astronomical like that. For us collectors that have been doing this for a long time, it's like, seriously?
Hey,
Why would you even waste your time?
that's like one of my favorite things to do is like, well, that's a little bit of a hyperbole, but like send like people's friends in the community sending each other links to like ridiculous listings, and it's all for a laugh. So there's times when I'm just bored and it occurs to me, let me go see what I can find that's just ridiculous.
Well, and I'm willing to bet you it's always been a thing. It's not like this is anything new that none of us are. We've stumbled across things like this before.
Jose
We all
Uribe.
have.
Yep.
That was a money laundering thing. I swear up and down till I'm blue in the face. That was a money laundering type thing that took place with that one. But yet, all it takes is one quote unquote legitimate sell of something like that, and people automatically think that there's something to it. So they follow suit and do the same thing. And then you see, 15,000 listings for the Jose Uribe card at, a penny. And people don't realize that it's like, okay, this open your eyes, use your brain if you have one, and realize that there's something wrong with this. So it's, I think we're going to continue to see more and more of these like egregious listings, though, more so than what we've probably seen in the past, because of the mainstream media and high-powered influencers talking about cards, whether it be Pokemon, whether it be baseball, basketball, whatever.
Like influencers of Archer's level, or less than that?
Nobody's as high as Archer is. Archer is the pinnacle of influencer.
I mean, yeah, they were not saying, I think. But so he is what everybody aspires to be.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to, provide the masses with the details of, Terrell Davis is the next big thing, so I can start getting rid of all these freaking dupes that I have.
Dude, he don't pump stuff for free.
I'm the co-host of the IRP. Absolutely, he
That
pumps
should
it
get
for
you a
free.
discount, but it still isn't free.
It's free for me.
You have that in the contract?
Good deals only.
Yes. Who is it?
Make you big. I can't see.
Oh, is that Darnold? Is that the one that you posted up on Instagram today?
Mm-hmm.
The four card lot or whatever.
I was hoping the human think line would jump in.
Yeah, well, all it takes is one person to sit there and come across it randomly and, tag them in a comment. And then before you know it,
Before you know it, he's on the IRP.
wow. I'm not inviting him.
I don't think anybody is. I should, but
I don't know who we're talking about, but I have an idea.
Bob. Reed.
And we're not talking about Brian either.
All right. All right.
I found out. I watched a couple of videos from Clint, Cole Hamels fan today. I found out he is a big fan of said YouTuber extraordinaire, social media darling.
That must have been in the first video because I hadn't watched the first one yet. I watched I watched the one he posted today.
That one that was like a few days ago.
Okay, I got to go back and watch. I have it on my watch later list along with 71 other videos, but I digress.
We should compare watch lists. Whose is the biggest?
But that's the only thing we're comparing. Who's bigger?
I'll set them
Well,
up down.
I told you, mine's 71 deep right now.
That's pretty impressive.
I could make a watch later because after the time I forget, I'll see it pop up on the top of the phone. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch that, and I'm at work or whatever, or traveling in the afternoon, and that's when I forget to watch it. And then but you know what? I haven't seen a Brad video. Well, he had 3 of them last week, and I just every time they popped up, I was busy with something.
Well, I've been kicked out of my bedroom. My child has taken over my spot on the bed, so I've been punted to the couch. So before, when I would go veg in the bedroom and watch TV or whatever, I have YouTube synced to my TV in there, so I would sit there and just let the watch later list roll for a while and get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Within a short amount of time. Well, since I haven't been in there, and I don't think I can sync YouTube to the TV in the living room because it's ancient. I still have a plasma in the living room, if you can believe it, and it's like over 10 years old, and it's still running strong, man. It's still running strong.
A 9-inch tube TV right over there. It still has a built-in VCR, baby.
Well, it's the whole issue with plasmas that they didn't last very long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's still kicking. It's over 10 years old.
But
I don't think I can. I don't think I can sync YouTube to it. So it's one of those in which I've like had to resort to getting caught up watching videos on my phone. The answer to that, Brad, is no. Vinny does not make videos yet. We keep trying to push him to do them, but he's slacking.
I am.
Continuing to slack.
And I was going to answer that, but I was going to answer Bobby first. 2 bags, Bobby, from the Dollar Tree or Green Tree or whatever it is. Not a blue one in the back. So I was disappointed. Everything else, but no blueberry. Or what is it?
Blue raspberry?
Yeah.
What do you eat? What is it, anyways?
Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, okay.
Unless
I didn't see the front.
Unless C got to him, because that's her favorite. So that's a possibility, but I don't think she knew they were there. Because that's her favorite Slurpee. Mixed with Mountain Dew. I'm high on Mountain Dew, Pixie Sticks, and blueberry Slurpee.
Yeah, I'm a green apple or a watermelon guy when it comes to Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
I like them all. Except
My My new favorite candy is those high chews. Don't know about it.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah.
those aren't new.
No,
It's
Those
new to
things,
me.
those things are, those things are have been around forever. I think
I'm
they
saying
just.
it's
Well,
my new.
is it because you started seeing the commercials for them?
No, I never had them. And then the lady
Okay.
that works our front desk at work, she has a little candy jar, and they were in there, and I was like, what are these? And now I love them, and I keep them in my little chest right here because you
Well,
gotta
it's
hide them from the kids.
It's interesting. I've noticed they've started advertising them on TV.
Hi, Chew.
They, yes, they have never. I have never seen advertisement. At least here,
no.
I've started seeing commercials for them, which I've never seen before in the past. But Hi Chew has been around for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Their apples are great. The apple one for them.
There is not one that I've ever had that I was like, yeah, this is bad. I mean, there are.
My least favorite
One of
is
them.
mango.
Well, it's one of those of which you either like mango or you don't. But
Right. Not bad, but it's not. I don't go for it first, you know.
And everybody's got to remember where Bob and I come from. It's still 2002, so Southwestern Pennsylvania is not a bastion of forward progress.
okay, so Hi Chew is even older than that.
People still
We're
wear
talking like
in Pittsburgh.
we're talking like 90s.
Maybe candy we're on the 90s. We're gonna tell you it's you know. I bought my dad an iPad. He thought I got it. I thought Elon Musk was there with giving him SpaceX stuff, you know. And he's a little technical genius because he used to build and rebuild computers for the fun of it. Now he's got this iPad. He's like, I can find out anything with this. This is great. And he's 70, so I'm like, anything that makes him happy and keep up with the times, I'm in it. Plus,
Everybody know what time it is?
It's milk time.
I like the high chews, but I am always first and foremost, and since I was a kid, Mamba.
Mambas are good.
That's I just wish, and I'm hoping when I'm down in Wisconsin, when we go to Costco or Sam's Club, they got the Halloween candy. I'm hoping they've got like the 900 count bag that they got 800 of them last year at my brother's. He's like, "Are you gonna eat them all?" I'm like, "Well, I'm well on my way. I'm hoping your sliding door's a little bigger so I can fit through it." But yeah, Mamba are just that's addictive. There's that, and if you can ever find, and I haven't seen them in a long time, the old sun-kissed fruit gels that were individually wrapped. You had like the cherry, the orange, the lime, and then like the yellow or the I don't know if it was lemon, or then sometimes they had like the pineapple, the white one or whatever.
The green are not lime anymore. They made them sour apple, and they suck. Well, I like sour apple, but here's the problem: lime is the unforgotten flavor. It's like Skittles. You just have it. Just add it. Exactly, goes. Very disappointing.
I love those. And then what else? Like I mentioned before, those Royals, the milk-made Royals or whatever they are, the caramel with the. You could have chocolate or like a vanilla on the inside or strawberry.
So, Dave, what was the brand of gummy bears that I'm eventually supposed to get at some point?
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude.
These aren't mine. These aren't mine. These are my kiddos. But I thought this was the brand.
Dude, it says right there, world's best. They ain't lying.
That's why I wanted to ask though, because it's like I come in here, I pour my milk, and I'm like, I swear that's the ones.
I thought Vinny was
Those
going to
are
go
good.
get his.
No, but I know which ones he's got, and those are freaking good too. Yes, Black Forest is good too.
See, I'm not the regular ones. I don't like.
But I just thought that was funny because it's, Vinny knew what time it was as it pertains to, it's about this time of night. But
Those ones I like. The regular ones, I don't know. I like these ones that much more, and it's not because it's organic. They just taste so good.
Is it the texture of them? Because there's like a little on the regular ones, they're kind of like almost you know how when you get a banana and you do that thing to it, like banana chips, and it's got
Yep.
like that film on it. That's what those have. It's like a dehydration film on it, and it's just odd.
Yeah, those are the go-tos for gummies.
All of these, yeah, those are the best.
yeah, but I'm gonna have to find out where my wife got those because that's probably my bag, isn't it?
They're pretty available.
Menards. If you got Menards down there, I don't know what
We
you
don't
got.
have Menards. That's why it's because every place is different. You don't know because some places carry certain brands, others don't. And I had never seen it before here locally, but my kid loves gummy candy, gummy bears, gummy worms, trolleys. Whether it's the sour or the regular. I mean, she's a lot like her dad. Go figure, right? But I just happened to see them sitting there on the counter. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the ones that Dave talks about. So I'm gonna have to find out.
What do you got for? You have a Holiday gas station down there, or no?
No,
I'm trying to think where, because up here they've got them usually like a 2 for $4, that size bag right by the checkout. I'm like, well, as long as I'm standing in line, here's a couple bags.
well, and it's one of those. My wife goes to like Dollar General and Family Dollar quite frequently.
Okay.
And sometimes they may end up having some things that are not normal in other retail stores. But we also have an Aldi's here. And Aldi's is not always name brand stuff. So at least not name brand stuff to us. Like going to Walmart or to Kroger or to Albertsons or any of the major, grocery chains. So it's one of those in which I don't know where she would have specifically got them, but I'm going to have to ask the question. Because I can at least say, okay, next time you go, give me a small bag of gummy bears so I can try them, so I can prepare myself for the larger bag that will arrive hopefully before the end of 2021.
It's so true. It will. Yeah, they are fucking addicting. And then I think I've said this before, and probably multiple podcasts, or we've talked before, that my brother had his bachelor party several years ago in the cities. Brought over a big plastic bowl, like you'd put, I don't know, like a cold salad in, if you had like a get together, and had like triple sec vodka. Yeah, I mean, he soaked them, and he brings this thing up to the hotel room, and I just start gorging myself because I'm like, are these Albanese? And it's like, yeah, and I'm just like, Fatty McFat hammering him, and he's like, "You know there's alcohol in them." I'm like, "I do now," and I just kept on eating. I'm like, "They're gummy bears, and they're my favorite brand, so I don't whatever's in them doesn't matter." But I mean, he put several. He's like, I just dumped out whatever like half bottles I had and put them in there, that size bag. So I probably had half that container.
So you were feeling pretty good?
That wasn't bad. Again, that my girth, even with the infrequency of alcohol consumption, unless I'm drinking heavily quickly, like the shots or the hard liquor. If I'm doing that quickly, it can go downhill quick. I mean, it's a train wreck. But that it didn't affect me because we went out right away. And we walked out for dinner or whatever it was, and I mean, we walked like 6 blocks, so immediately I'm walking it off instead of you just sitting there for 2-3 hours just drinking, and then when you get up, you're like, oh, now what this?
None of us know what you're talking about. That's never happened.
Never, ever. But yeah, those. I always suggest those to anybody that you see them buying like the. I'm trying to think what the other brand is. I know it's a trolley. The oh, I can't even think of it. It's the Milkmaid, same brand. But if you buy those are good ones too. But there's another brand out there that's like, I said, buy this, go spend 50 cents more in the bag and try a real soft gummy bear that everybody can enjoy.
As Bob's enjoying his gummy worms.
Dude, you put it on the brain. The only thing that'll get me back, I might have to go grab a beef stick to get me off the sweet.
That's usually the problem. The bag goes, and then those beef sticks go, and then like, I need something else to eat. Like, where's a bag of chips? I'll hammer one of those too.
Yeah, I got to mix it up.
Yeah, I'll probably regret eating that chocolate mousse pie or whatever as late as what I did.
Yeah, but
No
no
regret.
Good. No regrets.
Oh yeah, tell that to my stomach tomorrow morning.
Yeah, the milk will take care of it.
Maybe. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on what decides. Well, this depends on what decides to ferment first in the stomach. Is it the beer, or does the milk kind of just sell it all?
Well, you're eating chocolate and drinking Yingling, so now you've had chocolate Yingling. So there you go.
I haven't done that. No, I was drinking Coors Light. You missed it. Yingling is. I had my last Yingling last night, visiting with the neighbors. So my wife, when she went and got beer, I didn't specify, so I got Coors Light. Not that I'm complaining by any stretch of the imagination. You don't complain about what the wife brings home when you say I need beer. But the fact that she also enjoyed it, it's one of those. It's like, so start putting that in your head. Just start buying a case of Yingling and start bringing it home. Because then if you want one, you can have one or two. But if you start dipping into my beer, that just means you're going to have to buy it more frequently. Just keep that in mind.
You won't keep beer in the house.
There is always beer in my house. Always. This is the only night that normally I stick to my 2. For whatever reason, podcast night, I usually drink 2. Every once in a while, I'll drink 3. But any other night, it's 3 to 4. But I cap it at that. Unless we're, hanging out until 1 a.m. or whatever, and then, all bets are off. And I don't count after that point.
Yeah.
Oh, beer's finished. Oh, yep, I need another beer. I'll be right back.
If Shelby or Haley come over, I usually, because they're 25 and 29 respectively, I'll usually drink bourbon or some form of whiskey, and that's rare. And then I think we have some kind of Jose Cuervo that's cherry limeade and watermelon something, and it's tasty. I'm not usually a tequila person, but I was like, let's try this, see what it does when I need to sleep. So I drink like a 20 ounce of that on ice and see where that takes me.
No, I would prefer to drink Makers every night, honestly, because I drink it in a cup like this, and that's the shot. You can't see really, but that's the free pour, and the rest is Coke. But it's one of those in which usually when I'm in the mood for it, my wife has already killed the bottle. It agitates me because she went from Tawaka to trying my Makers, and now it's always Makers in the house, and she shoots it.
Ooh.
But on the flip side, Bob, I can say so as far as whiskey is concerned, it's the only whiskey that I've come across in which I can take it in a shot, I can drink it on the rocks, or I can drink it in a mixed drink. It doesn't matter. I can drink it in all three ways.
Okay.
So, and my wife's not a big mixed drink person, so she'd rather take it via shot and be done with it.
It's the smoothest whiskey I've drank.
I like it. I like it. I was expecting Bob to also pull out his wine.
Take a break from all that.
Giving you crap, Bob. I'll be honest. You would think since I normally drink beer every night, the only time I don't is when our friends across the street go wherever they go for the winter. They haven't found a place to where they consistently frequent yet. But during the winter, with them not being around, I very rarely drink. But because they're always having a cocktail, it's like, you're having a cocktail, I'm going to have a cocktail. It's not that I have to, I want to. But when I don't have anybody else to drink with, it's like, I don't drink.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, because on Tuesday nights, my wife is usually here. She normally doesn't drink unless she's visiting with the neighbors too. She may have a shot type situation.
Mm.
But I feel like I'm drinking alone on Tuesday nights. Because nobody else drinks. Tonight I wasn't drinking alone. Dave, you at least joined me.
I'm gonna find a 12er of that stuff instead of a 6-pack. I don't know if they make a 12er of it. I haven't seen it, so
I don't think so. I think the only one they do is the regular one. I've seen a 12-pack of the regular.
And then they have like a 12er of like the mango, the black cherry, you get like the variety pack or whatever. But I'm like, I just want the cranberry. That. It's not super sweet, and it's not super bitter for the cranberry. So if I can find that, I will then be more joining of drinking. I know Trista likes the Moscow Mules. That's her drink of choice, and I'm like, oh,
Special little cups.
That ginger beer is freaking disgusting.
Yeah, there it was. I tried one. I don't Christmas party a couple of years ago, I think, when she came with me. No, I'm like, this is your fancy shit, not mine.
That ain't fancy shit either.
Well, she says that too, but I'm like, once you start doing the little potion stuff, like, well, here's a dab of this and here's a dab of that, and we have to have the little goblet with the
copper mug.
yeah. I'm like,
Got to be in a copper mug.
no, that's too fancy. I want the 4 for $1, 8 for $1 cups you're drinking out of right now from Walmart or the dollar store. You can put it in there. That's what I want. I don't need goblets, and I don't like the what is it the shit with the salt around it. I don't care about that stuff either.
Margaritas.
Oh, fuck! I hate that. I'm like, just give me the margarita. I don't need to deal with the salt. I've hammered some of that stuff and it's good. Some of it's just atrocious. But if I want salt, I'm gonna fucking find potato chips. That's where my
so completely random. Have you a Moscow Mule in that? It's a copper mug. It's Gears of War 4. Back when I used to, game more frequently, I always bought the more expensive editions that came with like the extra stuff, of course.
Yep.
And I just thought it was interesting, of all things, that they would include in a game was a copper mug. Of all things.
Especially for like a game like that where you don't want to be drunk playing it. Where you actually have to think a little bit or like strategize. Some strategery. You don't want to. This isn't like, I don't know, like Twisted Metal where if you're drunk it's probably a lot more fun. Yeah, she but then she'll drink like Labatt, and then oh fuck, what is it? Leinenkugel's, the summer shandy. She likes that. And then I'm sure now with fall being here, whatever garbage they come out with now, pumpkin spice. I don't know if she does much of that, but she's more into the coffee. I don't remember what it is, but she gets excited about like the Caribou coffee and like, ugh, none of that stuff. I get it for her for Christmas or her birthday, and not for me. I don't know. I stay away. That's the devil's nectar. Coffee just no. I see it at, like I've said before too. You see it at the store all the time. People are waiting around that coffee maker for 10 minutes while things percolating, and I'm like, no, that's okay. Then coffee cups get left on the side, on like the shelving units in the aisles, and doesn't look very professional.
I never waited for the coffee to brew anyways. If I had to brew it, then I'd brew it, walk away, do whatever I needed to, and come back. I'd do the same thing at home too. I'm not going to sit there and watch patiently like the old Mervin's commercials or whatever. Open. No, I'm not doing that.
No,
I make it. I go out, have my morning cigarette. By the time I get done with my cigarette, normally it's already ready to go. So, because I have to have it in the morning. I have to. It used to be Dr. Pepper. But when you used to drink over a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper a day, that was bad. So the only caffeine I get in my diet these days is my coffee in the morning. Most all the other drinks that outside of water, of course, which is nothing, but I'll drink caffeine-free drinks. Sun-Kissed, root beer, Sprite, 7-Up, anything that's not caffeinated. So I know that's crazy to think. People need caffeine usually to push through in a day. I mean, Vinny, of all things, you drink Mountain Dew, which is some of the worst crap for you to drink. But I understand. I understand the reasoning behind it. I get it. You know, Dave and his cherry Pepsi. Everybody has their vice as far as, you know, where they get their caffeine fix from. I just happen to get it from coffee. But I drink it up till about 10 o'clock. And then I'm done. So there was a time in which I had no caffeine in my body, but that was, you know, like 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I went, I think, a couple years without drinking pop, which I never thought I could do, but then I did. And had a Coke, I think, one time at dinner when my brother was up, and then it was right back downhill. But now I don't even drink Coke. It's like after that time off, I mean, that was pretty much any of those Coke products make me, like I've said, hack loogies, and then right away, it's like I'm sitting there like, right away. So the Pepsi doesn't. So once in a while, I'll have like a that'll be my thing at work. I'll grab 4:30 or whatever when I'm breaking down the pallets or halfway done. I'll grab a 20 ounce of Pepsi, and that'll be my thing that I drink throughout the day. That'll last me till probably like 11 o'clock.
And Bob's eating cereal. Is that honeycombs?
So it looked like it's actually Eggo waffles,
Oh,
and they taste like they have maple syrup on them.
mm-hmm.
So Bob's midnight snack. He sees me get the milk, and all of a sudden it's like, yep, cereal time.
Yep.
See, I guess I am an influencer too. I'm getting up there, Dave. I'm getting up there. I'm almost to your level.
Your subscriber count just jumped.
Do what?
I said your subscriber count just jumped.
Probably not.
Did your prescriber count jump?
Good possibility. Good possibility.
Subscribers, no. Prescribers, and as they say, if you know, you know. Because not too many people will remember what that refers to. But.
On that note, holy hell! I just realized we're at 3:08.
That we are. That magic number. Anyone have anything else to say before we?
No, Bob's stuffing his face. He's good.
Good.
Some of this rain, Dave, you can come take it. It's supposed to rain for 24 hours.
We had that basically yesterday. The whole day it was coming up from the south and hit or miss, and unfortunately we didn't get any storms. I want some storms. But we got a bunch of rain so far, but still we're down a ton.
When we get those bad storms, the sky, like that one night I was telling you guys, I took that picture and sent it to the group. The sky was green.
Which usually means hail.
I'm a mountain boy. Usually any kind of those big storms come and hit the mountains and it breaks up and everything as well. Living in this flatland for the last 11 years of my life, I don't like it. Where are you going? The mountains, they're safe. I'm like, it's like in Red Dawn. You head to the mountains. We fine up there. Me, I don't have any mountains. The biggest mountains in Auburn are by the palace, and it's a man-made mountain of trash. There's this huge. If you go up there, I'm like, hey, better half. What's those big hills over there? Are those for skiing? Are those for X, Y, and Z? I know, Ghost. No, they're trash made hills. Hills made of trash. They grow freaking dirt and grass over the top of them. I'm like, this is insane. I've never seen man-made hills with trash underneath them.
We hadn't gotten any rain, but it was very pleasant today. It was a little windy, but 82 was the high today. Right now it's 70 degrees with a nice breeze. It's supposed to be down to the mid 50s tonight. So we're going to only be in the 80s for the next few days, which is nice. Because we hit 90, 99 yesterday with a heat index of like 104. Random. I'm got to get that last day of high heat in, before it starts cooling off. Yesterday was bad.
And we have a low of 48 the next 7 days. So winter in Michigan or fall in Michigan is here.
Good old Wolverines. Yep. Red Dawn. The original. Not the remade one.
I didn't watch the remade one yet. I don't know.
Don't waste your time.
I'm a purist of just that ending scene where Swayze and Charlie Sheen are there at the heartstrings, man. Love you, Maddie. I love you too, Jeff. And it's just like they're gonna die, and I know it. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't go blazing in with my M16 and save them both. They just go on the front bench to die.
Don't waste your time with the remake. I was.
If you like Red Dawn, the original, so the director Dave Milius, there's a documentary on YouTube right now about him. He was a pretty nut kind of guy, like just like a man's man. I mean, like all the movies he directed were like Conan the Barbarian. He did Red Dawn. But he's like a big pro-gun guy, like anti-establishment in Hollywood, just kind of made the movies that he wanted to make. And when somebody needed, like all these big-time directors, when they needed to like spice up the scene in one of their movies, they called this guy to write like an action scene, basically. So it's pretty cool. And then how he got kind of blacklisted in Hollywood and all the controversy around Red Dawn and all that stuff. So it's very interesting. If you like documentaries, it's good. It's just his last name, Milius.
I'll have to check it out. I like to read. I like to watch stuff.
I don't want to cut into your YouTube watching time because there's not enough time.
It'll actually get him to watch something that's better for him than some of the crap that he does watch.
Well, my dad gives me a list of stuff that I usually don't talk about with you fellas, so he watches different things that pique his interest as being a dude-type man from the hills of Pennsylvania. So he'll give me stuff to watch, and I'll watch that, and we'll discuss it. Usually I call him every night and discuss things. Tuesday nights, as soon as he answers the phone, he goes, "I'm going on. You got your thing tonight?" And I'm like, "Yep, I got my podcast tonight, Dad." He goes, "I like them fellas. They seem like good folk." And, he has me watch it from time to time to check to make sure my cursing stays at a minimum or is non-existent to this point. I said piss tonight, so I might get chastised for that.
I think you should get a pass for that one. Yeah, our friends, they always ask, we go hang out on Wednesday, how was the podcast? And, but we were hanging out last night and they were like, so what's the subject? And I'm like, even if I told you, you wouldn't understand. So don't, because some stuff I can at least provide some sort of explanation, but they have no idea about cards. So it's like, yeah, we're talking about printing plates. They probably give you the look of, huh? And I'm like, I don't want to go into some deep dive explanation and then completely like lose interest in what I'm saying real quick because you're going to be like, okay, yeah, this makes no sense. But anyways, Bob, anything more from you? You good?
I'm good, guys. Yep. Appreciate you having me on, and I look forward to the next time.
Benny, anything more from you?
Not a thing.
Good, because I was going to put you in timeout anyways, even if you did. Hey, it could be worse. I could pull a Carlos, and you could just sit there and keep talking, not even realizing that you're not there. I mean,
if I get that,
I'm not that mean.
As you look for the button.
No, I wasn't. I was re-shifting a stack of cards. They were crooked, so it was bothering me. To my right over here. Nothing more from me, Dave. It's all you.
Well, thank you all for watching tonight. Like I said, the topic wasn't exactly a freshly polished diamond, but something that nobody else is talking about. But give it a week or two. You'll see it somewhere else. We won't get credited for it, but that's okay. Because everybody else out there, minus our good friend Carlos, nobody's coming up with topics. It's all a rehash. It's all the same shit. SOS, baby, SOS. Same old shit. So, from Team Home Ec Close and from Team Schmedium and the Human Stink Line, I wish I could flush you guys down the toilet like ghoulies. I really do. Really, really do. But, thanks to Bob, Vinny jumping on. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and send donations and well wishes in the monetary form to our crypto wallet, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App. We can have direct deposit, EMT, Western Union, cash, check, money order. We can send it in the form of cards that we can sell in order to recoup cash as well.
Liquid only.
If you want to fund us going to card shows, we can certainly take airline tickets and put our names for hotel reservations as well. I don't know what else we have. I'm trying to think of any other.
Just check out the Discord.
Yeah,
come on. OnlyFans. Come on, Dave.
Our OnlyFans, you gotta hit that up. Become a premium platinum member. Those are the biggest members, and the biggest members always get the best deals. We know that.
Good deals only.
You know what? If you're a platinum member and OnlyFans, that fucks hard. Remember that. So, for Vinny, who's losing it, Robert, who's not paying attention because Chair has got everything going on, Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the Insert Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, wonderful. The friendships you forge in this hobby, that's what it's really about. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.